You know what's up, my boy.
Gunline, gunline, gunline. Fire mission coming down. I'm your host, Lopez, and you're listening to the On the Gunline podcast, where we shoot the shit like we did in the past. So come on down and pop a squat because it's about to get hot right now. You're listening to the Midweek Memo for the week of May 12, 2021. And as always, I got my co-host Dowden with us today. He's not doing babysitting duties that we're at the baseball place, so he was able to come here and shoot the shit with us. And today we got a very special gun line topic, y'all. So check this out. If you're looking at this very fine specimen that's you've never seen before,
well, you not get out of
ball head. That right there is, believe it or not, he's my fucking nephew. All right, he's my nephew. Blood by blood, not this we know each other, no, by blood. I was born November 24th, 1977. He was born December 2nd, 1977. Typical fucking Hispanic household, you know, the mama and my sister, well, another story for another day, pregnant at the same time. It happened to be my dad's oldest daughter. And my mom is his second marriage. Anyway, long story short, this is Otgl right here, Dagoberto. Thanks for being on the gun line, brother.
Thanks for letting me be here, Danny. Appreciate it, my boy.
Bro, so I teased it earlier on my Facebook page that throughout my years in the military, I always heard motherfuckers say, "Oh, the Army's the biggest gang in the world. The Army is the biggest gang." And so, I remember we were talking one time on Facebook and you said, that you would want to discuss how the Army and gangbanging has a lot of similarities, and with that, I thought that, what better way to have a subject matter expert for those that don't know, you may have had a previous experience with that. So, why don't you tell the people a little about yourself?
Well, thanks for letting me be here, Danny. Much love, my boy.
Of course.
I mean, always family. So let me see. Well, like he said, our families are Salvadorian. I come from a hardworking father, hardworking mother, cleaned houses. My dad worked in, I guess, factories. I never really knew what he did. It was just always like a mystery, you know what I mean? It was like, I just know he would come back home, and that was a good thing, But when he did come back home, most of the time when I was young, he'd be drinking. I remember my family drinking, but everybody having a good time. So anyways, just came from a nice home. Didn't have everything I wanted, but what I needed, I had, right. The necessities. Grew up with Danny. First, I was staying in the South Central when I was young. We went to school together, South Park Elementary, the one on Manchester. Yep. Actually, they used to call us, they used to call him French fry. They used to call me hamburger. And it was a teacher that I remember because, not many teachers do I remember from when I was growing up, but that teacher I do because she used to look out for us a lot. You know what I mean? So she showed a lot of love. So anyways, we used to get into trouble and, long story short, they ended up moving because they thought that by separating us that they were gonna stop the problems. I guess that's what they thought because I was doing real bad when I was little. I mean, we used to do some stuff that I don't understand how we don't have a wooden leg or something right now. You know what I mean? Or we're dead because we used to do some. We used to jump from the roofs. We used to think we were in the military.
Yep.
And we used to go on top of the tree.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then put Joanna like she was the soldier waiting on the door. Because we used to get that from my uncle Chanti. Remember, he used to come back from the military and he used to take us to those shows and all that. So and it was fun. So go ahead. Let
me give a little bit of background. So when we were in elementary school, all right, when I say that me and this cat grew up together, we were joined at the hip, all right? Like it was to the point where if I couldn't go spend the night at his house, I'd be fucking in tears. Or if he could spend the night at my house, he'd be in tears. All right. Yeah. And then this is back in the 80s, y'all. So things were a lot fucking different back then. Yeah. Let a teacher call their fucking student out of their name nowadays.
Oh.
Like you said, and her name was Miss Choice. I remember this fat black lady.
Yeah.
She used to call him hamburger. I was French fry. And I used to get clowned as well because I used to have a Kool-Aid smile in the morning. But we did a lot of knuckleheaded things. Especially there was this one event where your sister Joanna was getting I think punked by some little kid. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We
ended up beating them up or something like that.
So yeah. And this was when we were like in second or third grade. So
yeah.
I guess you could say when we were youngsters, we were gonna be knuckleheads in some sort of way or another.
Yeah.
You know? And like you were saying, now that I think about it, about your pops, I have no idea what he did. Like, I mean,
I found out later on in life that it was for cardboard, but yeah, very interesting though. You know what I mean? To find out, to not know what your father does when he leaves, but right. I guess that's just the way it is.
Hey, he made them ducats. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that mattered. You know what I
mean? And I think that's gonna lead as well to a lot of questions about and when we get future into our conversation. So all right, so you guys ended up moving to the west side.
So we ended up moving to the west side. We moved to different spots. It was at some point we were in Hollywood, and from Hollywood we moved to I think some part right there by MacArthur Park. It was like a couple blocks away from. That's where I jumped off the window. Remember, I jumped off the window on the third floor because I thought I was Superman, and I cut myself right here on my eye. And my dad took me to the hospital in his underwear because he was drunk. My mom always tells me that story, man. God, and so we moved there, and then we ended up on Vermont and Olympic.
Right.
Now on Menlo.
That's the one I remember the most. That's where
on Menlo.
That's where a lot of the stories that I remember from us growing up.
Yeah.
It's right next to Koreatown. Is on Olympic in Vermont. The donut shop.
The donut shop. Yeah, it's gone now.
Dude.
It's all gentrified, but not by the whites, but by the Koreans. And they were smart. They bought all that land. So it's all Korean now, But there's still a lot of issues, but everything owned is by the Koreans.
And the Koreans don't fuck around either.
Oh, no. We know that from the LA riots. They were not playing.
So let's go. Let's stick a little bit to our childhood.
Okay.
Right there on Menlo. Dowden. All right. When we were kids, we did a lot of stupid shit. I don't know if you did this as well, Dowden, but I think this is all kids do this at some time in their life.
Yeah, they had to.
But we would go to the parking lot, and his parking lot was like on a hill, and Vermont was the main street that rolled behind him. All right, lots of traffic on this street on Vermont and Olympic.
Busy street.
And Olympic was the main street right there where the intersection was. Well, we thought it'd be a great idea to get rocks and throw them at these cars.
Hey, you think somebody could have probably got killed?
Man,
because if you hit someone in the face, now that we've grown up and we've experienced life, now I look back and I'm like, man, it just took one inch, somebody's life could have ended. I mean, they would have hit them right in the face. That's crazy, man.
Did you ever throw rocks at cars, Dowden?
Oh yeah, we used to hide out in the woods and fucking throw rocks.
Oh no, we were trying to hit people, not animals.
Yeah.
that was the only little difference right there. You know what I mean? The same concept.
Oh, by the way, Dowden, he's a big shit talker. Think of a Mexican Kowalski. But we used to do shit like that,
Yeah.
And,
but all the time. That was all the time that he was over. If something was we were always up to something.
And not only that, now that I think about it, there was one of your neighbor kids got in trouble for us throwing rocks.
Yeah, over. He probably did. That was happening all the time, man. All the time.
But we ended up growing up together. He would come over to my neighborhood where I live. We would go out and mess around at the swap meet, or just do troublemaking shit. All right.
Yeah.
Troublemaking shit. And no matter how much our ass whoopings, because my dad would whoop the fuck out.
Yeah.
And your dad
beatings, man.
We grew up old school Salvador.
Oh yeah. But we grew up with the type of beatings that they learned in their country.
Right.
With it was like, you get whooped with a paddle. No. We're talking about get on your knees, put some rice on the floor, hold the books like this, and if you move, you're gonna get to beat the shit out of you right now.
Yeah.
And man, you didn't want to, but we still, I think that would encourage us more to do bad.
You know,
that was, yeah.
And we're going to get into that as well, too.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into that.
But you know what? Don't get me wrong, though. It wasn't, I don't say it was a bad thing, because I think the love overrode that. You know what I mean? Like, I think, like, even though it sounds bad and this and that, I still got a lot of love for my mom and my dad. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I don't hold nothing against, but I'm just saying, like, today you talk about things like that, and some people are like, oh my God, that was child abuse. Oh my God, or oh my God, how can you know this and that? But to each his own. But to me, that just makes me who I am today. Well, that's just part of my story, you know.
Go ahead, Dowden.
I said that's what I would call a life correction.
Yeah.
You did wrong,
yeah.
You got fucked
you
up,
got what you got.
You got loved afterwards.
Yeah.
When I think about it, it seems like it didn't matter what our parents did to us to try to discipline us. Our path were pretty much already set of what we were going to do or how we were going to become. And luckily, eventually, as we grow into men, we can see back then. Hindsight is 2020, and because my dad will whoop my ass literally for being late from school. Like, he beat my ass because I stopped from the fucking gas station. I stopped at.
But you deserve this sometimes, though, man. Because I'm gonna be honest, man. This guy would lose his bus pass all the time, and then he'll have to walk all the way to Bethune, huh?
Yeah,
man. Every time, though, it's like, man. Now I look at it. I would get mad. I gotta buy you another fucking bus pass. Fuck that. I'm gonna whoop your ass real quick, man. Cut your ass over here.
Yeah, so I will get my ass for losing my bus pass. All right. It was $20 to buy a bus pass. Back in the day, $20 was a lot of money, Chief.
Yeah.
But that wasn't deserving of an ass whooping. My dad whooped my ass one time so hard with the fucking fan belt.
The sticks. He used to make you pick the stick.
Yes, he did.
He'll tell you, go get me that stick over there real quick. He would be like, man, and try to grab a small stick. You're like, no, grab that skinny one right there. Because the skinnier, the better. I'm gonna hear it. I'm gonna hear it hit you.
What you say? The skinny sticks cut the wind better.
Oh, bro, my dad had a very unique way of cutting the
yeah,
and he would just. Like, all the leaves would come out. That man was magical with it. Magic. I'll tell you what, 1 year, bro. Christmas time, all right? During Christmas time, we had bought a camcorder. All right, Dowden? We're listening to some fucking music in the living room. And this fucker right here is recording me. And I'm doing like dancing or whatever. And then he's like, hey, fool, why don't you move the camera? And I'm like, what? And he's like, move the camera, fool. All right. So you see me unbuckle my pants and my big white ass all over the fucking screen, bro. So and behold, I forget about this later on through the night. And we had a tradition that, everybody would spend the night at the house and fucking, we open up gifts and all that good shit. And then we'd be by the fireplace. And then in the morning, we watched a video. So in the morning, we're watching the video, bro.
And there's
my brother Ed remembers this very well. We're watching the video, and all of a sudden that part comes up, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" My big white ass is on TV. My dad did not even make a sound. He just got up, walked up to the back part, grabbed the motherfucking I don't know if it was the water hose, but he grabbed it. But he started. Oh, te crees chistoso, verdad? You think you're funny, huh? Wow. He whooped my ass.
Yeah, that was bad, man. That was bad.
We kind of influenced each other to do stupid shit. All right.
Yeah.
We did. But
did bad, boy.
How about you, Dad? And growing up, did you suffer any ass whoopings per se?
My grandparents would whoop anybody in our family, if we fucked up as kids, had free reign to whoop our ass.
What kind of whooping was it though?
Well, my grandparents had a switch tree. They liked that if the yardstick was broke. It was either a yardstick or the switch. Let's see. My dad was a big fan of those thick ass fucking 80s, 90s belts, leather belts.
Oh, the thick ones?
Oh, the big thick leather motherfucker
with the big ass buckle and shit.
Yeah, and sometimes the buckle gets out of control when you catch a buckle.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that buckle. So
my mom always waited for Dad to come home, which was great because hey Dad, what's going on? You're like, oh fuck this. Get my ass whooped. I'm going to work.
But being that we took all those ass whoopings and everything growing up, man, we still made dumb decisions. You know, in junior high came along, and the big thing in LA at that time was tagging, being tagged. You know,
ravers.
Or ravers, yeah. There was
It was the party cruise.
Party cruise, dude.
Yeah, the party
came
cruise.
out of the news.
Yeah, with the Fox undercover.
Yep.
Yeah.
But so anyways, those were the big things growing up as a teenager. And
hey Danny, but you didn't tell them real quick. My bad, but you didn't tell them.
Here we go.
When you sang, when you guys sang at Bethune at your graduation, "The Man in the Mirror."
Wait, what?
Hey,
that was actually in elementary school.
Was it elementary?
Yeah, that was the 6th grade graduation.
Hey, I don't know why I always remember that, man. The Man in the Mirror. I don't know why. I just had to bring that up.
Why are you bringing up my old fucking Michael Jackson memories, man?
I just thought we couldn't skip that one, my boy. I just remember all you little brown black kids on the front line and singing your hearts off, man. I just remember that. I don't know why, man.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, it's fucked up because Michael touched me at that time, with his music and his voice.
Hey, Michael was bad, but he was a Chester, man.
Yeah, he was. Well,
bottom line, there's no reason you should be sleeping in bed with kids, man.
Hey, at all. Culkin said everything was good.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
So tagging was the thing at the time, and
yeah,
I think that
and gangs.
And gangs. The gangs, well, that's when tag bangers started getting into it. So I remember I wanted to be a tagger like in the 7th grade because everybody was tagging in school. And I don't know how many times I got called a fucking toy. Anyways, and then I remember
you should tell them what a toy is, though.
Okay, so a toy is somebody that can't tag, that has some crusty ass writing.
Yeah. In other words, there's no reason why you should be on the wall. Yeah.
That right there.
Yeah, basically, you shouldn't be writing. And to this date, I might as well have tagged with my left hand. It would probably look better. But and I'm right-handed.
I've seen some of the cartoons you tried to draw. It's true.
Wow. That was between you and me, Dowden. Wow. You're gonna throw me out like that. All right.
You know how to draw, Danny?
Fuck no, I don't know how to draw.
Oh.
I mean,
you can't even draw a circle.
Not without something tracing it. All right, let's not get this. Look,
not without the compass.
The hate, because this fool is quick to start jumping on that, and all of a sudden it's gonna be a let's bag on Danny day. That shit was always.
Hey, that'd be a good show too,
dude. Him and my brother Doug. It's a fucking tag team event on me, and it's like fuck that. It'll no.
Hey, have you had Doug on the show yet? No.
Oh, not yet.
You should. It would be good if you and him got in speaking politics, man. Because you guys go at it, and you guys know what you're talking about, man. So it'd be good.
That fool is too far left for me. He's a too much tree hugger. He's way.
I think it'll be a good debate, and let me facilitate the debate.
Nah, man, you good, brother. Nah,
I got 4 questions, and that's it.
4 questions?
Yeah, 4 questions. I want you guys to answer and go. You know what I mean?
That'll take up a whole hour right there.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll talk about the next segment for that one.
So, do you think that what took us to wanting? Well, I'll speak for myself. I don't want to speak for you. I'll speak for myself. I know that I always wanted a sense of belonging. I wanted to belong. You know what I mean? And I grew up seeing Doug and his homies. You know what I mean? So seeing Doug and his homies got me to a sense of like, I want that brotherhood. I want to know what that's like. You know what I mean? I want to have friends like that. And back then, taggers weren't getting respect, but the gangsters were. You know what I mean? People either feared them or respected them. Respect was a big thing. It still is, I'm thinking, back in LA. Respect was a big fucking thing, especially when we were growing up. Yeah. And all the gangsters were respected. And so eventually it went from tagging to gang banging. And then, of course, the guys I hung around with were from a certain neighborhood. and I made my decisions with that. And you made your decision. What led you to go from tagging to elevate to gangbanging?
Well, for me, I think it was a process, but I think it has to do a lot with what you said was with my uncles. You know what I mean? Like with Doug, seeing Jeff. You know what I mean? Seeing, all his homies. You know what I mean? And even Romeo when he was around.
Right.
And then him leaving. Like I remember all that. Because we used to have the Christmas parties at the house. You know what I mean? Yep. And then and that's why I was saying that how my family had moved out. And I think they thought by doing that, they were going to fix it. Because I think just like we noticed, they noticed.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And I think because, hardworking parents, but in order to be hardworking, that means you're not at home no more.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So they knew that the supervision wasn't there no more. So I think that's why they moved. And, with Mamita, she passed away. But Mamita was really the one that used to babysit, the one that used to take care of me, and even she did what she could. You know what I'm saying? And, that was like another mother to me. I mean, Mamita was like everything, And so from there, I think when they moved out, they thought it was going to change things. But in reality, I think it just made it worse. You know what I mean? Because that was my family component. You know what I'm saying? That was my family. So when you remove that, then you're trying to find yourself again. You know what I'm saying? And then hitting junior high, like you said, I think we all want to belong. Right. Everybody wants to be part of something. Everybody wants to be noticed. But not in a bad way, but because we are somebody. Everybody's somebody.
Right.
And I think as you're a young man, you're trying to find that. You're trying to find your identity. And it's whatever grabs you. Right. You know what I mean? It's like, it's whatever, what it's like, if it's the chess team and you get into it, that's what you're going to be good at.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if it's baseball, if it's football, you're going to grow up in school with everything else around you, but you're so focused on that because that's your outlet. You found something that you're good at and that you like. Right. So the bad thing about it is that for me, it was gangs. You know what I mean? I like to get into trouble. That's the only time that my family really noticed me is when I was in trouble. Right. You know what I'm saying? So just like, I think in a way, I was trying to find my place. And because, my place, I found it in the street, I liked it. It was almost like a high for me. You know what I mean? Like, man, I love, there's no rules. We are the rules. You know what I mean? And for a young kid, you could get lost in all that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Doing bad is not hard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And yeah, go ahead.
No, what I was going to say, because one thing that I noticed about your neighborhood versus my neighborhood, you were out on the west side, in West LA over by MacArthur Park. Yeah. And you guys had that shit on lock. Like, I mean, you get La Renta, motherfuckers it was all on point. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't want to go too deep into that, but you guys had the structure right well. In my neighborhood, it was a little more Wild West where we didn't have that locked like y'all did. You know what I mean? Right. And that's one thing that I like. I'm not envy per se, but thought why the fuck can't we be like that neighborhood where they have that structure? You know what I mean? Right. And I mean, I remember when I went to your neighborhood and I met, that was the first time I went to your neighborhood was when you introduced me to Red, I think his name was. And and that was off. And we went to the pizza shop and everything around there was y'all's, you know what I mean? Right. So, and where I was at, we didn't have it like that. It was still, like I said, it was not as structured as it was in the West Side. So
yeah, it was just different, but it's not the same thing at the end of the day.
Right. I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead, Downing.
If y'all's environment had changed, kind of like what you were saying, if you're in the baseball, let's say if y'all's environment would change and maybe it wasn't so gang related in the school and the neighborhood you grew up in, do you think you would have had a different path?
Yeah, I think if I would have had someone that pulled me aside and, and kind of like a mentor or some type of, someone that really was there for the right reasons, then I think anybody would have a different outcome. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I don't regret where I've been. Yeah, would I done things a little bit different? Yeah, maybe. You know what I mean? Not what I know now, but I love my past. I embrace it. You know what I'm saying? But to me, what got me involved in gangs was fun. Yeah. I don't know. For me, it's just fun. You know what I mean? Going out there, being with a family. You're doing certain things, but that was mostly more because you were protecting yourself. You were like, well, they come hit me, I'm gonna go hit them. It's like the United States. You know what I'm saying? oh, you over there doing this, well, I'm gonna do this back. You know what I mean? It's just in a smaller scale. You know what I mean? That's the only difference. But you know what I mean? They're the same way there's politics in there, there's politics, you know what I mean? And almost in anything, you know what I mean? Even church.
So with
and yeah, go ahead.
No, so with that, you know, I think that it's the risk factor that draws people to it, you know, because I know I like the risk. There's something about your fucking adrenaline pumping.
The adrenaline from it.
You know, I
think everybody has a different rush.
Right.
Because not everybody in gangs is doing bad stuff.
Right.
There's gang members that they're walking USC right now about a major in the degree or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they've never even shot anybody or anything like that, but they're in gangs just because of their family and because they grew up like that, maybe in middle school, but yet they did something else. They were never jumped out, but they chose to do something different in their gang. Right. You know what I mean? Not every gang members out there selling drugs and stuff like that. But I think that I was going to say that I think that if we have more things in schools and we taught some real stuff in the school, especially like junior high and elementary, I think we will have a different, like, right now, I feel like everybody's just, it's all about me. What can I get out of this?
Right.
Like, it's me. It's not no us. It's not no, even like when you see coaches out there talking about, oh, you know what, you're not going to be a winner. Or like you're not going to be a winner all the time. Just know that. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's like, come on, we're going to go out there and we're going to do this. You know what I mean? We're going to play our hearts out and fuck this shit. You know what I mean? But now it's just, everything's so sensitive, you know? And to be honest with you, my kids, like, I try to teach them, like, you know, I tell them the real, man. I try to teach them about money management. I try to teach them about, you know, whatever I can. You know what I mean? The real history. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, then you're I guess I'm saying all that because I think you're set up with a certain, like, how to like, when you're little, you're really being taught how to follow rules, how to, you know, like that eye in the sky. It's like, I feel like they're teaching you a certain way of think already. And at the end of the day, yeah, you can be good, but you just can't get there where they're at. You know what I mean? Like, they keep you to they'll let you do certain things to a certain point. And I'm saying that because, you know, it might be gangs, it might be a punk rocker, it might be an atheist, it might be someone that's just book smart and is about to blow up a school. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, somehow, some way, something's going to shape them. You know what I mean? And whatever catches their attention, and most of the time it's during the junior high area or elementary, whatever catches their attention, guess what? If your parents are going through a divorce, guess what? You just fucked up that family component. So now wherever that kid ends up at, whatever parent gets them, guess what? He's going to gravitate to whatever's in that school. And it might not be gangs, it might be drugs. Drugs don't respect no color. Yeah. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, I like to have fun, but I think I used to like taking risks.
Right.
I think for me, it was almost like a suicide mission out there. To me, it wasn't like, yeah, there's gang members, but not everybody's gang banging. And sometimes with me, it would be like I remember even putting on like a hooded sweater with a wig on and like a dress, and then trying to catch somebody down the street for I could catch them slipping, you know? Yeah. I used to love that. Or I used to remember getting in the ice cream truck, taking the ice cream truck from the guy, not because I robbed him, but because I was going to take it around the corner, see if I could catch one of my enemies, and then come back around and give the man his ice cream truck back. You know what I mean? So that type of stuff, you know? And not that everybody was doing it, but at that time, man, it was crazy. And it was like every gang wanted to top each other. Right. Oh, you kidnap somebody? Oh, we're going to kidnap somebody. You know what I mean? Oh, you're going to do this? We're going to do that. So it was, and then at that same time, in my area, there was a lot of people coming from the Civil War up in El Salvador. So they were coming with, I mean, as young kids, they already seen the whole family killed. They seen, you know, grave sites full of people in them, like pits, stuff, because that's what they, you know what I mean? They were out there killing people just for beans and shit.
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
We're going to jump into that as well, too.
Okay.
Why they ended up, you know, becoming or going towards that gang relationship.
Yeah. So let me just finish real quick.
Yeah,
so the point I was trying to make was that, so they were coming through all that, so everything was very violent in that area. Everything was violent. Yeah. You know what I mean? The way a relationship was, the way you would speak to, everything was revolving around violence. And I think that generation is in the 90s was one of the worst times in LA. And from that, I used to love that. I loved it. I like LA riots. I loved it. So, but not what I'm trying to say is that not every gang member was doing it. Some of them were just in it for the money. Some of them were in it just for the women. Some of them was just there for the parties. Right. Some of them were just there because they lived there and they had no other choice. They were there for fear. So there's different subgroups in gangs. You know what I mean? Right. You got the gang members. You got the gang members. So I used to love the violence, man. And that's what really caught my attention. I've been shot 6 times. I used to have tattoos all over my face, my head. I used to have a big old one on my neck. I got them all lasered off. You know what I mean? I don't live like that no more because that, like you were talking about right now, respect. You know what I mean? A lot of times, it wasn't respect. What were they doing? It was fear. People didn't respect them. They just feared them. At the end of the day, they died. They didn't respect them. They didn't care about them because it was just a nuisance in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Because he was just another troublemaker. But, a lot of people worked off fear. You know what I mean? So, yeah, go ahead, Daddy. My bad.
You're good. No, you're good. Yeah. I mean, to relate that into so much of the military aspect, as far as like that type A personality, right. Basically what you are is type A personality, an alpha fucking male, and in the military itself, we got a lot of psycho motherfuckers that love violence.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Yep.
They love it, and they're usually called Special Forces or Delta or Rangers because those motherfuckers, they just
okay.
You know what I'm saying? And you would have been probably a great fit there.
And I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, I always think about that too. Yeah.
No, and it's crazy because it leads me to this point that it was in the 90s. Dude, I still remember the first time you got locked up, and it was in Silmar over the fucking shoes. And you and somebody else jacked some shoes out of the mall. I don't know if it was the Glendale Galleria or what. And then you Silmar, and I went with your mom and pops to go get you out. Oh, I went with your pops to go get you out of Silmar. And then I remember the next time that you got locked up, it was funny as fuck, dude. So check this out, Dowd. And for the listeners, thank y'all for listening to us right now. But this story right here has to be told. This motherfucker shows up to my house. All right, it's early in the morning. He parks this Honda Civic a couple of houses down from where I'm at. And he walks up to my dad and he's like, "Hey, fool, let's go for a drive." I'm like, "All right, fuck it, whatever." Because me and him just like, whatever. I'm not going to say no to him. So my dad's like, "Para dónde van?" Like, "Where y'all going?" I'm like, "Oh, we're going for a drive." And my dad's like, "In what?" And this fool points, "Oh, in that Civic over there." And then my dad says, "Oh, yeah, let me see the keys." This motherfucker pulls out a screwdriver. So we're rolling in a fucking stolen car. My dad doesn't know what to say.
And I got arrested after that too.
That's what I was going to. We take off. We go cruising down Imperial Highway. I think we'd go see Little One over there off of Prairie. We come back. Somebody had just gotten killed on Imperial too. Remember that crazy lady?
Something like yeah.
You're like, somebody, my son.
yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
LA in the 90s, right? So fucking we get back. He drops me off, right? He takes off. All right, man, I'll see you later. So he takes off, dude. Later on that afternoon, I get a phone call. "Danny, they want you on the phone." Like, yeah, this is Danny Lopez. Like, yeah, do you know Dagoberto Ramirez? He claims that you're his uncle. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm his uncle." And they're like, "Well, you sound like a kid." How old are you? Like 15. And they were like, "What?" I was 15. Now that I remember, because I remember saying I was 15. And like, "And you're his uncle?" Like, "Yeah." Like, "Okay, he's here in Eastlake Juvenile Hall." He was arrested in Hollywood for fucking G riding. I'm like, oh my fucking God, I was just with this dude. So again, it's that thrill seeking that we were looking for. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that thrill seeking, I found it in combat in Iraq. I found that adrenaline out there. And what's funny is I was scared shitless at the time, but passing through it was that rush that I would fucking get excited. Like when we got blown up the first fucking time, January 5th or January 6th of 2006, I was freaked the fuck out. I almost shit myself, but I can still remember the adrenaline, and I search it. I can't find it. You know what I mean? And I think that's what you're talking about as well. You know, hey, Gunline, we got cut off, so I think it was a good time for me to shut the fuck up, is what I think what just happened there. But yeah, I'm gonna wait for these guys to hurry up and get on here. And so long story short, he ended up getting busted. I got the phone call. I don't remember where it went from there. And yeah, that was that. So we're gonna go ahead and come back on here. We're gonna go ahead and go back to the interviewing the way it's supposed to be. I got lost in the story, and that happens to me a lot. Once I start telling the story, I get lost. And so we got Doggo back on here. We got Dowden back on here.
I thought it was me.
Oh, no. So what ended up happening, we ran out of time.
We wasn't paying no attention.
Yeah, we ran out of time, and I get, like I was telling everybody in the podcast world, I get wrapped up in the fucking stories as I'm remembering it. So long story short, he got busted, got the call. He ended up getting out. Anyways, so tying it back all in together to the military, the brotherhood, to violence. You seek the brotherhood, right?
Yeah.
So, Dowden, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot it over to you, brother, because I know that you have questions written down. So, if you're okay answering some questions.
So, they're gonna ask questions right now?
Yeah. I've got just like a few. So, you know, you're talking about the loyalty and all that.
Yeah.
When you were growing up, did you ever think that the military was something you could do?
No. The military was something that I seen from my uncles, but I never really thought that I could join it. I think I just got lost in what I was doing.
In the environment you were in?
Yeah, because I remember like liking to play, like if I was in the military, you know, jumping on trees and stuff like that, or even going to see air shows when my Tio Chanti, you know, and I think we're Ed too, huh? We used to go see his shows too. And but I never really thought about like joining the military. It wasn't until after that, you know, I started doing certain jobs and, you know, I had to started working, I mean, getting some experience, that I was thinking like the military really caught my attention, you know? And I was like, man, how come like now I can't join the military, right? Because I got felonies and all that stuff. But I think now it's like, man, that would have been cool, because in a way that's kind of what saved you, Danny. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of what helped you out, because I know that you were like, you know, in your own little thing, you know what I mean? Your own little trip. And I think while I was, you know, doing my whole thing, I got lost for a while, even from my own family, because I ended up being adopted to a new family, you know? Right. And that's all I knew for a long time. And I mean, I just barely got my life right, like maybe 11 years ago. You know, it wasn't even that long ago. So what I'm trying to say is that oh, sure, I got lost right now. Go ahead.
So for me, Dowden, just a quick caveat off of him.
Yeah.
I ended up leaving LA to Miami because I got to a certain point in my life where I was actually fucking scared for my life. Like, everything was starting to catch up to me really quick. Any shit that I had done was starting to catch up to me. And you get, like, at least for me, I had like the sixth sense, like, my time is coming. I'm not going to.
At what age did you go to Miami?
It was in 2000, in the year 2000. So I was 23.
In your 20s?
Yeah, I was 23, and I just felt everything was catching up to me. Things were just fucking starting to get worse out there in LA. And the 90s were a fucked up time. The 90s and early 2000s were a fucked up time, especially the 90s. But I felt it was coming up to me. I wasn't going to end up in prison. I was going to end up dead. That's the way I fucking felt. I had one foot in the grave. And then I was just like, I told my mom, I need to get the fuck out of LA, because if I don't, I think I'm done. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I got fucking scared. Shit was catching up, and I like breathing. I don't know about y'all, but I like fucking breathing. So, you know, the only way I could figure fucking, you know, tearing away was actually, it was in 2001 actually that I ended up leaving, and fucking I ended up moving to Miami because I thought if I moved to Washington, where my brother lives, my brother Romeo, it's just a mini LA. All it is just the West Coast is the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Everything's gonna want to be like LA. I tried going to Vegas. Vegas is nothing but another LA. Just and I would always come back to my house, back to my neighborhood. So I decided to go to Miami. Miami was 3,000 miles away.
Who'd you know there?
And my sister. So she was there. And let me tell you something. I still ran into a homeboy over there. You know what I'm saying?
Man, they could move you to Alaska and you'll still find out get in trouble.
Bullshit, dude. I was up there. I was at a restaurant. I'm smoking I'm smoking a Fajo right there. I'm smoking it. And this fool's like, hey, where you from? You from LA? So we started talking like, yeah, I'm so-and-so from so-and-so. And he's like, orale. Hey, you know my homeboy Salty from the South Centrals? I'm like, seriously, fool? Yeah, that's my homeboy. So we started talking. And it's like, no matter where you go, birds of a feather flock together. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
All day.
And if it wasn't for the army, like you said, Dago, if it wasn't for the army that gave me, if it wasn't for those buildings falling and the war starting off, I don't know where the fuck I'd be. The army gave me that opportunity to once again feel that brotherhood, that camaraderie. You know what I mean? And like you were saying, your hood became your second family. It became your family. You know what I'm saying? It's that bond and brotherhood. So
I mean, you're probably around them all day, every day, like a family. If they're taking care of you, you're helping them out.
Yeah, just like the military. You're constantly around somebody becomes your brother. And you see your brother die, then it becomes something else, right? At least in the military, you could retaliate with the United States behind you. You know what I'm saying? Over here, I got little Joker and big Joker, and them motherfuckers, I'm hoping they don't tell on my ass at the end of the day. You guys got the whole United States of America behind you.
Shit. What else you got, Dowden?
How many, and you maybe elaborate on it, how long were you actually in, or are you still in kind of not actually blooded out or whatever I don't know what they call it. I'm a stupid white guy, so.
No, you're good.
How many years were you in, I guess?
Yeah, I've never been jumped out. I'm still, I guess in the gang books, I guess they would still say I'm a gang member. But I'm not active. I'm not out there doing anything. I don't see no point in that no more. I still got love from where I grew up at. I go there all the time. You know what I mean? At some point, I hope that something that I build or a business that I create is going to be in that area. I believe a lot in giving back from where you came from. So, and I believe a lot in owning business, but not just any business, like brown business. I feel like, you know what I mean? I want to empower my community. And, not that I'm racist, my race is bigger than yours, but I think that, it's time. We got a lot of hardworking people that came from other countries and they broke their asses out here. And I think it's time for us as their kids to show them that, what they created, man. I think by buying businesses and buying, and giving back and not just, I make it, we all make it. You know what I mean? And it's just about building everybody up. And I want to do that where I grew up at, where I did a lot of harm, and now I want to do a lot of good, So I believe in that. So
like now, how much has it changed since you were here to now?
Around the area, everything is becoming gentrified. You got Echo Park, a lot of what we call hipsters. I don't know, you guys are familiar with hipsters? Yeah. Okay. So we got a lot of hipsters in Echo Park, Highland Park, and I got a lot of hipsters now where Staples Center's at, because I'm real close to Staples Center next to downtown LA. So you would say that all downtown LA has become gentrified too, because it now is nothing but the nightlife, when before it was nothing but homeless people. Wow. So that part right there has been changed. But where I'm at, the Westlake area, it's like once you step in there, it's like almost going back into the 90s.
Oh, word. So the MacArthur
area
is still the same.
It's still bad. Now I think it's the scenery is even much worse, because now they were homeless before, but at least they were like on drugs, and they would just be walking around doing their thing. Right now, because the homeless crisis has been so big, that now you got little cities inside the park. So you got tents all over, and then they just bring a bunch of junk. So it's real bad where I grew up at, and I mean, to someone that lives there, it's not bad. But if you bring somebody from the outside, they're gonna be like, "Where the hell am I at? You know what I mean? Get me out of here." You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's still like that right there. So yeah, I was never jumped out. I never planned to get jumped out. But I'm not active. I guess that's what you would say. That's the difference. I'm not part of those activities no more. And yeah, that's where I'm at now.
Well, in our world or in that culture, you would be considered a veterano.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah, or
better,
OG, veterano, or you know, I'm not too much entitled.
Right,
But
right.
Just call me Dago and don't call me late for lunch.
I'll tell you something. Like,
late for lunch. So kind of your plan for the future, it sounds like, is basically community outreach and giving back to where you grew up and the people you grew up around and making your family proud.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan right there, man. You only get one life, you know what I mean? And they said that I heard one time say, if they don't laugh at your dreams, they're not big enough.
That's a good fucking. I like that.
You know, yeah. So that's what I live by now.
I like that.
Yeah,
dude. What were some of the shitty moments? I mean, in the gangster life,
Oh man, missing out on my family, on my immediate family. Just because I was on the streets most of the time, so I wasn't able to enjoy, watching the twins grow up. Yeah, I mean, I was in prison or in juvenile hall or in the streets.
So you went through the system too, right? You went through the halls,
yeah,
and the joint, right? How much time in total?
Oh, I stopped doing time in 2009. Damn. 2009 was the last time, and that's actually the first time I ever walked out of the county jail, and the first time I walked out and never came back.
No shit.
Yeah, that time was, well, I don't know if you want me to tell the story later on but
tell your story, man.
Okay, so that's the reason why I changed my life actually was so in 2000, let me tell you real quick the story. In 2005, I was running around doing whatever. I had just got out of prison, and I'm running around doing my thing, right? The best way I know how. You know what I mean? I'm in my element. And I ended up, seeing someone walking down the street, and he was from a different neighborhood. And when I walked up to him, he had tattoos that were visible to me. And so I didn't even have to ask him where he was from. Where was he from? I already knew, so I acted and I slapped him. And so when I slapped him, he went back, but I didn't know that he was with his girlfriend and his kids. So I told him, you know what, man, get the hell out of here before I come back. So when I crossed the street, and back then you're thinking stupid. So you're thinking, so I'm like, no, this guy's not walking fast enough. I'm thinking with my pride, with my ego, my T-style, this guy, I'm crazy, this and that, So I jump in my car and I tell somebody to get in the car with me. And I'm like, if this guy comes around the corner right now, I'm gonna act out, you know what I mean? If he comes around this corner, that's just the games that we play, So he's walking down this block, I go in the corner, I go down this block. So I stop in the corner and say, for whatever reason, if it's destiny, if he walks this way, I'm gonna do something. If he walks that way, he's safe. You know what I'm saying? That's like the game I was playing. But when I stop in the corner, one of the guys that I know everybody, he goes, "Hey man, that guy that you just hit," he goes, "He's calling the cops." I go, "Calling the cops? This is like a gang member. Why is he calling the cops?" You know what I mean? Like, that's not in the book,
Right.
And so
right there.
Yeah, I'm thinking like this guy, okay, whatever. And this guy thinks he's crazy with tattoos on his face and everything, right? So anyways, he ends up calling the police. You know what I'm saying? So I take off. I go pick up somebody in LA High, and we're over there doing whatever, come back. I'm playing video games in the laundromat. And I didn't know that he had actually made a report. I thought he was just calling, so I just took off, And I come back, I'm playing video games in the laundromat, and I'm playing Pac-Man, I'm beating everybody, I'm real good. Miss Pac-Man, and next thing I know, I see the cops in the bike. So at that time they had gave us the gang injunction. So it couldn't be more than two gang members together. If there was, you automatically go to jail.
Right.
So I could be buying milk for my baby, but because I'm with somebody else that might be my brother and he's from the same neighborhood, well, guess what? You can't be with them. You're going to jail for a while. So that's the rule. That's the law they have. So anyways, at that time, so I told everybody when they see the police, go ahead and run. You know what I mean? So like they're not catching us together and they're not just arresting us so we can be together. You know what I'm saying? We can chill, smart, right? I'm already a little bit grown up. So I went through the system already. So I've been taught well. You know what I mean? It's like it's not about showing off. It's about, being, winning the game.
Right.
And so sure enough, I didn't know they were looking for me. So they got me, took me in. And at the same time, I'm thinking, like, what the hell are they taking me for? I'm just playing video games right here, And they took me and they said that the guy said that I tried to rob him. So instead of saying that I fought with him, he said that I was trying to rob him. So I'm like, what the hell? So anyways, I go to court and so this guy, more likely he wasn't going to show up no more because I think he just called the cops because he was scared of his life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But he ended up doing the whole shebang and made a report. So I'm figuring he's not going to show up. So when I go to court the first time, they say, okay, because of your prior history, your bail's going to go. I didn't have parole. I had just discharged my parole. He goes, since because of your history, your criminal history, we're giving you another court date and your bail, you got no bail now. And I'm like, what the hell? So my lawyer started fighting that because, it's not whatever, right? But because of my prior history, right? And so anyways, I ended up fighting the case. It took me a whole year to fight it. And the thing about it was I got tired. So when I got tired from them sending me from Supermax to county, Supermax county, because that's how they make money off you. Every time you get a bus ride, I think they make like $600 off you. So it's a big money maker. You know what I mean? So even if you might get released tomorrow, they'll ship you back and forth like 10 times just because they get my money before they let you go. So
is that something
the government pays them. Yeah, it's our corporation. Yeah, the penitentiary is the biggest corporation out there. It makes a lot of money. And then so anyways, that's really what started making me think. You know what I mean? I'm out here doing all this, and this gang member supposedly that's supposed to be, we're supposed to be all crazy, ends up telling on me. And he doesn't even tell on me the truth. He says I tried to rob him instead of saying that I slapped him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking like, what part of the game is that? So it didn't change me, but it planted the seed. It started making me look at things and questioning them. Because before I wouldn't question things. I would just be like, just like a soldier. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna because I thought that was the law. You know what I mean? I felt like that was the book. Yeah, and in reality, it's all. You really gotta bamboozle yourself to gangbang. You know what I mean? You really gotta deceive yourself. You really gotta like fool yourself because if you really look at it, you're dying for a piece of concrete that's not even yours. You know what I'm saying? Then you're willing to do life for a bunch of guys that don't even give a shit about you at the end of the day. And I'm not saying all of them. But yeah, but that's it's in a way it's a brotherhood, and it starts off as a brotherhood. But when you start mixing it in with drugs, money, women, prison, trauma, no education, you know what I mean, a deadbeat dad, all that shit is what creates that craziness in the gang. Poverty, you know what I mean? Like it's not the beginning. The beginning, you're just a kid, you're having fun, this is not. But when you start mixing the other stuff, that's what creates you. That's what starts molding you and creating you. You get what I'm saying? And it's to see what comes out of that. You get what I'm saying?
Let me ask you.
Let me finish the story real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyways, I got busted. So I started questioning things. So I'm good. So I get out. I beat the case, right? No, I didn't beat the case. What I did, I got tired of them tossing me back and forth. So I told him, man, just give me something, you know what I mean? Because the guy wasn't showing up no more. So I beat it the first time, and I asked him for a speedy trial because they could refile on you as soon as you beat the first time. If they drop the case, right away they'll refile for you to start the process all over again.
Right.
And because they know the guy's not going to show up, they're going to see if they tire you out by sending you back and forth in the system. So that's what happened to me. I got tired of going back and forth. I told him, man, what you going to give me? Because I could do the time. You know what I mean? But at that time, I was like, fuck, I'm busted for something I didn't even do, And this motherfucker right here, you know what I mean? These supposed to be gangbanging, you're not even gangbanging. So
were they trying to three-strike you or no?
Yeah, they were. That's the thing about it. Because of my history, they were trying to give me a lot of time. But because they noticed that the guy wasn't showing up no more, they figure when I asked them, hey, give me something, they figure, we'll give him something because, they're going to have to throw it away, but he just doesn't want to wait. That's the thing about it, And I got more time than money. So I'm like, okay, well, how much you going to give me? Go, well, we'll drop it down to a petty theft and take 18 months right now. I go, man, I'll do 18 months quick. So I took it, I got out. And from that point on, I was doing good. I was working, doing this and that. And I discharged that number because I got another number from that prison term. But because I did so good, I discharged it. Why can't I even do so good? What it was is that my parole officer, he was doing my annual, and he forgot to send a paper to Sacramento. And when he forgot to send that paper to Sacramento, by law, he was supposed to give me something, and he messed up. So he by law, he had to let me go. And that's how I discharged that number. So I didn't have nobody telling me no more.
Right.
But that's when I thought, from that point, I thought I was free. But in reality, I thought I was invisible because I had no parole. But in reality, I still got my record. You know what I mean? I still got my history. So I'm still asked out if they gave me for something stupid, Mm-hmm. So sure enough, I'm out there working, doing good and everything like that. And I'm at the Salvadoran parade in MacArthur Park. The cops get me, a bunch of police come out of nowhere, and they're like, this is that. And I'm like, what the hell, man? And they see, they take me in. So I was already doing good that I already started taking off the tattoos on my face. I took off the ones on my cheek and the ones on top of my top of my eyebrows.
Right.
But they didn't know because I was doing good. So this time around, it wasn't the gang members set me up, it was the cops. So the cop said that made up a witness and had them say that I was part of a crime or something that had happened, and that the reason how they connected me to that crime was because they yelled out the name that they used to call me, and because of the tattoos on my face. But they didn't know that my tattoos on my face were gone already. So when I'm going to court, I'm not knowing this though because it's all made up. So I'm in the station. I'm like, what you got me for? I'm right here at the Salvadoran parade. I'm enjoying my culture. And they're like, nah, we got you for something. So they take me, and I see the detective that knows me since I was a little kid. He goes, I got your ass. And I go, for what? What the fuck you talking about? He goes, I got you. And he looked close. He goes, where's your tattoos at? And I go, I've been took them off. But I didn't know what he was trying to get at. I took them off like 4 or 5 months ago. You know what I mean? And he just walked away mad. So when I go to the arraignment, I'm like, what the fuck? I had no idea. I had no idea what was going on, man. And I go to arraignment and they start reading what the charges are and all this and that. I'm like, the hell? And they start saying on this day. So I guess they said they've been looking for me for like a month or something, right? And so they start saying that on this date. And I'm like, man, on that day, I don't even remember what the fuck I did 2 days ago. I don't remember what I was doing at that time, right? And that's for everybody. You know what I mean? You don't remember what you were doing a week ago at 9 o'clock at night. You might have been asleep, but not exactly what you were doing, or you know what I'm saying? Like, and back then, life is going fast. You know what I'm saying? You're not thinking you're living day by day. You're lucky you made it to a month, So you're just chilling. So, anyways, I go in there and they set me up. I go to arraignment and they read all the charges. I'm like, what the hell? And so I'm like, man, I don't even know what the fuck. So they take me back into the cell, about to take me to the county jail. And when they're about to take me to the county jail, I start thinking, man, what the hell was I doing on that day? I'm like trying to remember, like, this day, what was I? Because I know I didn't do what they were talking about. No, yeah, I even started questioning myself. I'm like, man, I must was I drunk or something? I'm like, I'm tripping, right? And so, anyways, I on that day, it was crazy was that I didn't even know that they had said the tattoos yet. But what was crazy was that on that day, I was at Compton Court paying a ticket. All this, is I'm figuring this out as I'm waiting for court again.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm trying to figure out where was I at, what was I doing, and somebody said, hey, you were at court, you were at Compton Court that day, and I was like, oh yeah, we got the ticket. Looked at the ticket, it was that day.
Right there.
So I go to the next court date, and I'm thinking, oh, they're gonna let me go because you know what I mean. I know where I was at. I got proof right here. I'm thinking, yeah, I forgot I was brown, man. I go over there. I go in the fucking court. The lawyer pulls me. Comes to talk to me. She goes, okay. I go, hey, look, I got proof because somebody mailed me the ticket. They had made a copy of it and mailed it to me before I got to court because they can do court like every month or every month and a half, right? So anyways, I go, look, I got this paper right here. And this is the copy of the ticket. You know what I mean? I was there that day. It's stamped.
Mhm.
And she was like, okay, but this is another thing. And she goes, they said that the way that they pinpoint, they pointed you out was because of your name. That they used to call you this? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, and because your tattoos on your face. She goes, let me see. And I still had the one on my neck, but not the ones on my face. And she goes, she looked and she goes, you don't have tattoos on your face. I go, that's what I'm trying to tell you, man. I go, look, you got that, you got the ticket. I go, get me the fuck out of here, right? And she was like, she was a Jewish lady, but she was good, man. And she was like, oh, we're gonna go out there. She goes, these motherfuckers are setting you up. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh shit. I go, we got Rampart all over again right now. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, I'm thinking ching ching, this and that, right? So sure enough, man, I go to court, and so she's like, okay, we're gonna go out there. We're gonna have to get another court date, but I'm gonna see if they drop the charges with all this evidence we have right here, right? So we go up there. She starts saying, "Oh, this is that," and the cop goes up to the stand, and he's saying, yes, we got a call at this time, this and that. This had happened, and we want to know if the defendant that you see is also. Before they put the cop up there, they brought a lady in. And the lady, the people that were there for me in the court, the lady was asking the cop, because I was already sitting right there. The lady was asking the cop, which is the one that I'm gonna point at? And yeah, all this is going on in the courtroom. And then and they're like, that guy right there, you know what I mean? So because they were gonna put her on the stand. So first the cop went up there, and what they did was the lady, she goes, well, on the report you put down that there was tattoos on his face, and because of his moniker. And they were like, yes, that's what we're told. And he goes, okay. And he goes, can you please get out of your chair and come up to the person that you're saying and let me know if you see any tattoos in his face. And the guy walked up and he was like, looking, he was like, no, there's no tattoo. He goes, but yet it says right here that that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what, you know what I mean? So they made him sit down, and then the lady went up. The lady went up. She didn't even look at me or nothing, man. They just started asking questions. She said, yeah, that was me. This is that. And I'm thinking like, oh, yeah, they're going to go. So my lawyer goes, he goes, I like for a dismissal because of so-and-so evidence, you know what I mean? Or whatever I presented. So they said, nah, he has a prior criminal history and we can't let him go. And so they kept me, they put my bail like $1 million something. And I couldn't afford that, you know what I mean? So I was like, all right. So I started fighting it, man. So while I'm fighting that case, I fought that case for almost a year and like 4 months. And so that case right there, I beat it. I went to the first trial, went all the way up. The last offer they gave me was, I think it was going to be like 15 years, something like that. That was their deal, 15 years. So I said, hell no. So I went all the way up to it. I beat it because of all the evidence I had. They didn't want to take it all the way to the top.
Wow.
And then the lady, I guess she was becoming difficult to find because I guess they had picked up somebody that, maybe she was on drugs or something, and they used her, and now that person was missing. So it was I had a good case, but because of my history, right, I'm sitting in jail trying to fight this, and my life is on hold. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all this time, while I'm sitting there, there's this thing that in the neighborhood, we're in gangs, it's called the green light.
Yeah.
And if your neighborhood does something against what the rules are, then all the neighborhoods in Los Angeles beat the hell out of you when you go to jail. And the jail is ran by gangs. So you're bound to get your ass whooped. And you know what I mean? Like a motherfucker. So at that time, my neighborhood had done something that, wasn't right for them. So we were getting an ass whooping, and I just happened to land at the time when that was happening. So so the way it happened was at first, I know the rules. I mean, I go up in there, do what I have to do. I know how to program. But when something like that happens, now everything that you fought for, everything that you were about, not all that's against you now. You know what I'm saying? And just because money's involved, just because, supposedly you're supposed to gangbang in the street, but yet now you're over here politicking, and because somebody gangbang, now you want to say, nah, it's not, you know what I mean? Now we're going to regulate. It's not gangbang. Why don't you come back instead of trying to get all these gangs to do something, So it becomes real political. So anyways, if you were from the neighborhood that I was from, when you went in jail, you would get what they call 39 seconds at that time. Before, what they used to do was you couldn't stay there. They'll beat the hell out of you or stab you until you ended up either dead or locked up because they can't let you out, you know. But now they figured that they could make money off you like that. And I'm talking about now about the gangs, you know what I mean, the mafia. That, like, you know, the rules in there, you know what I mean? That it's all about money. So because now you're getting rolled up and it's messing up the program, then what they did, they came up with something that said 39 seconds. Every week I'm a big boy. So they'll put 3 guys that are as big as you and they beat the shit out of you for 39 seconds. The only good thing about it is that you're able to swing back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, you know what I mean? Now think about it. You're 39 seconds getting beat up. They can't stop. You got a whole, over there in Supermax, you got a whole dorm just looking at you. And, you know, then you get up and you go to your bed and you do that shit every week until that green light is off. You know what I mean? Until whatever is needed to be done is done, you know? So anyways, I went through that for a while. And through that time, I would see the homies, you know what I mean? So I would be happy when I see somebody from my neighborhood in there with me because we're both getting our ass beat. Well, you know what I mean?
So yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. So when you were locked up, you know, were there any other homeboys from the streets that were in there with you?
Yeah. So if you were from the neighborhood, like there was one where I had three of my homies in there, right? So then we would all chill and we would just chop it up, but we were no longer part of the other circle. You know what I mean? Like all the homies, you know. Now it's like you fools are gonna fuck us up anyways. So shit, we're gonna stick together right here and just chill. And whenever it's ready, then fuck it, let's do it, you know. So, but in between time, so the neighborhood, we just went, and every neighborhood goes through something like that because it's politics, you know. I don't care what neighborhood you're from, you go through some shit like that, you know what I mean? Especially if you're in one of those gangbanging neighborhoods, you know, you're not into politics, you know. You got a lot of gangs that are generational that go back to the 20s, and those were around when like the mob started, so they're very political. And then you got gangs that started like in the 80s and 90s that they're like, fuck politics, we're about the streets. Right. So they bump heads. So, but when you go to jail, everybody goes to jail, and that's when you're gonna have to mind somebody. So that's the case right there. So during that time, I think I became bitter, and I would say, fuck these fools. You know what I mean? Like I knew homies that I did time with, guys that I even fought other cats with. You know, times that we went at it with the police. You know, good homies. But now because I'm in a certain situation, fuck that, I can't chill with you after you fuck me up. Hell no, I'm not just gonna look at you like, you know. So I started questioning things like my neighborhood got the green light right now because they did a certain thing to another neighborhood, and because they got Jews, they're gonna try to come at us like that instead of coming back on their own. So I said, fuck this shit. This ain't really gangbanging. Like, we're just a bunch of followers here, man. And so what I started doing, I started talking to the youngsters. And I would tell the youngsters, I go, bro, look, because I thought I was going to get some time. I thought I was. And I started just giving them game. I said, look, bro, I go, you're in here? Man, them drugs ain't going to do shit for you, bro. I go, you coming in and out of jail, who's missing out, man? You could be out there with your kids, with your mom. You know what I mean? You stuck up. So I started giving them real game. You know what I mean? I started trying to build them up. And that's when I first started doing that. I started speaking life instead of death. And so what I did, I kept going. So when I'm going to court, instead of me being mad at the work, because after 6 months, they took the green light off. So now everything's supposed to be back to normal, and I'm supposed to chill with the ones that were fucking me up. Like, fuck, yeah. So after that, and it's bad because sometimes it will be good because, you know what I mean, the homies will be like, nah, it's the homie. You know what I mean? Just give them little ones, you know, or you know what I mean, try to give them some love, you know. But then you have some that like came out of the street and they were like, oh, fuck this fool, you know what I mean? We got this motherfucker, and they would take it out on your ass. Like, you know what I mean? They'll be like, got this motherfucker right now, you know? So they would beat the shit out of you, you know what I mean? And then going to visit, seeing, you know what I mean? If my mom wouldn't visit me that much, but when she did, it was those times when I'd be like, fuck, man, she's gonna see me with a black eye, and she's gonna be like, what's wrong, you know? Right. And then she's gonna be worried, so it's like, you don't want to get that visit. So, you know, you got a lot of things going through your mind, then you're in jail for something you didn't do, and you know what I mean? And you're just asked out, you know what I mean? So I said, fuck this. So like I said, I changed all that, and I just started looking at things positive. And I kept speaking live. I kept, you know, trying to tell the fellas, you know, how to go to school, get your education, this is that. Ended up going all the way to trial twice. On the second one, I was getting tired, and I said, fuck this, man. I said, look, I'll take 10 years right now, And I go and fuck it, you know what I mean? I just I was just tired, man.
Yeah.
And at that time, it wasn't the green line no more. But now every pop was going at it with the cops. So when you go at it with the cops, man, the cops fuck you up. That's just another gang too. And and sheriffs back then, it wasn't no. Now you see a lot of Hispanics in the county jail. You know what I mean? A lot of sheriffs are Hispanic.
Right.
Back then, hell no. Back then, there were white corn-fed motherfuckers. Look, that they just came down from motherfucking Kansas, beating the shit out of your ass.
They looking like you, Dowden.
Yeah,
Hell, like
motherfucking yeah. And they would beat the shit out of you. They didn't look nothing like this, man. And so I was going through that, and when you go through that, you'll be sleeping in your bunk with no mattress, no nothing, pepper sprayed, fucking everything. You're just going through it, right?
Yeah.
And I go to trial, and I'm about to go to trial, man. I'm about to pick up my jury because they didn't want to give me the 10 years. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm going, and somebody told me, you better not take those 10 years, man. And I'm like, fuck it, man. I want a trial. And when I go to trial, there's this Cuban guy, man. And this Cuban guy, he starts he's singing, but he's singing like a Christian song. And he's singing, and he's like, he just got 2 life sentences. And I'm like, he's like, what you doing right now? I go, I'm about to pick up my trial. I'm about to pick up my jury right now. And he was like, he goes, all right. And so we start chopping it up, and the lawyer comes over, and she's like, you know what? I might have some news for you right now. And I go, oh, okay, because I'm thinking that she's gonna pull me out to go start picking the jurors. And then she leaves, right? Then this cat starts talking. He's like, man, he starts telling me a story, but not his story as far as like he was sad. He was just like, he was happy, even though he had just got double life. This one was like, it was just weird, right? And when he's done talking to me, the lady comes back and she's like, man, he goes, they dropped your case. And I'm like, because they got 3 times to refile you. And I go, man, they're going to pick it up again, huh? And she was like, I don't think so. So she goes, but if they do, they'll let you know right now when you're in a tank. And I was like, fuck. And I go, man, they dropped the charges, man. And then that fool was like, man, he goes, you better not come back. This is not right. And he was like singing, right? I always remember that old man. And I go back into the tank and I'm sitting there. I'm like, damn, man. I go, man, I might get out of the county jail. I've never been out to the county jail because I always go to prison.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, so I'm going to the county jail. And they started telling me, all right, they put a jumpsuit on me. I'm like, oh shit, I put the jumpsuit on. And I start walking on. The sheriff, they start knowing you when you start going to trial, because you go to trial every day, So they'll see you every morning as you're going through the buses. And then they go, man, you getting out? And I was like, hell yeah. And I was like, man, don't come. He goes, who's your lawyer, man? And I go, Jesus. I just walked out, right? Yeah. And then I walked out and I had the jumpsuit on. And I remember walking and I was like, okay, I got to go back to where the Twin Towers are at, because I was coming out of the court building.
Right.
And I went through Placito Alvera. I was like, I already want to give me a little taco. Went back, and I never went back, bro. Wow. From that point on, man, it's been a little mission, but for the grace of God, I got my girls right here. I got a nice little home right now. You know what I mean? I can't complain. I got a nice job. I'm about to graduate community college too with some degrees, and you know what I mean. And then what I'm doing right now, I'm working with the youth. So the youth that've been through foster care, they've been through emancipation. I mean, the pipes coming out of me, my bad. Emancipation. Yeah. And
what Abraham Lincoln did with the blacks.
Yes. And so, anyways, man, I'm working with those. You know what I mean? And it's rewarding, bro. And I mean, I'm not bored at the office, or somewhere breaking my back. You know what I mean? To each his own. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm actually when you do something you love, it's the last day you work. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just, I'm just saying all that just to say that I enjoy what I do, my boy. And I just got over that COVID too. Like last year I had got the COVID, ended up in the hospital with pneumonia.
You got the COVID?
Yeah. So I went through that. Then my whole family went through the COVID. So it's just been a little mission, you know what I mean? But yeah. But I say all that, I mean, that relates a lot. Like that little history right there relates a lot to how your military thing. And I always think about that because when I went off to prison, you went off to the army.
let me stop you right there. We're running out of time. I'm gonna send y'all a new link so we can continue it. All right.
Okay. Come on.
Right there. That's a good way to start with the next one.
All right,
y'all. We'll see y'all in about 1 minute, my time, and for the listeners, it'll be in 2 seconds. All right, everybody. Stop number 2, and we're picking back up right now. And just waiting on Dowden, and here comes Dowden. Now just waiting on my nephew to get on here as well. I hope you guys are enjoying this trip. It's been a hell of a journey so far, listening to him discuss his past, and there's a lot of blank spaces in there that we're not hearing, and now it's going to go circle back to, to what he wants to discuss on the comparison, which I think is pretty cool. And Dowden has a list of questions that I'm sure will be asked. I think, we might as well just leave the Q&A for the end.
my list is kind of small. I don't really have much anymore.
Oh, why? He answered a lot of it?
Oh, yeah. It was great. It's been great.
You enjoying this so far, Dowden?
Indeed, I am, sir.
All right. And well, here he comes, and we're gonna go with round 3. All right, and he is back. All right, well, let me move you here. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, too easy. That was a great time, like where it ended, and now we're gonna pick up. Dowden, I don't know where he went, probably go take a piss or something.
Okay.
So yeah, dude, it's been a hell of a journey to say the least, and hindsight is a fucking trip. 2020, you know what I mean? Like, for those that don't know, like, I remember when I first saw his first tattoo on his forearm that had his neighborhood on it, and I'm like, damn. And then when he had him on his face, and he was not just a gangbanger, he was a gangster's gangster back in the day, you know what I mean? So I'll tell you, you'd rather be his friend than his enemy, for those that didn't know him. And it was crazy because dude had it on his cheeks, on his eyes, above his eyebrows, and on his fucking neck, bro. I mean, you can't tell now, but this dude.
No, you can't tell at all.
No, I mean, this dude used to be pretty hefty, you know what I mean? And he had a big, in Old English letters on his neck. So there was no doubt, like, where he was from and where he was gangbanging from. There was no need to ask. I mean, if you asked him, it'd be pretty fucking stupid because, no, man, I just had to put this for the fun of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I ended up moving to Miami in 2001. And in 2003, the war kicked off. I was in Miami doing Miami things, and
dental hygienist,
dental assistant. And
that's right. I forgot about that. You were a dental assistant.
That's right. And so you ended up going to the joint
from juvenile to prison.
So what was well, shit, you went to Kilpatrick. I used to go visit you at Camp Kilpatrick.
Yeah.
To write each other. Camp Miller. I remember we used to write each other. You know what I'm saying?
Camp Scobie.
Damn, man. And then you went to Susanville, right?
That's when I went from juvenile hall to it went from juvenile hall to the county, and then I ended up going to prison. Yeah.
So what got you in trouble, if you don't mind discussing that? Like the first.
What got me in trouble with that one?
Yeah. Like what got you in trouble to go to the joint time?
So what got me in trouble going to joint was actually I got shot that time.
Okay.
I got shot up, and I went and I ended up, because I was trying to rob a drug dealer. He didn't want to pay rent in the neighborhood. So me and one of my friends decided to go talk to him about it. And we were stupid. We walked in there and this guy was ready. And when he was ready, he ended up shooting us, and he shot him. I got shot like 4 times, and my friend got shot like maybe 5-6 times, something like that. Oh, and so they ended up, the guys after they shot us, they ended up leaving. And when they ended up leaving, Rampart came. I was able still to get up. And when I walked outside, my friend couldn't get up. So I told him, I'm going to go get the ambulance for you. I'm going to get something. I'm going to get you help.
Yeah.
And when I walked down, all Rampart division was there. And they ended up put him on the floor, handcuffed me, and I just remember knocking out. And I remember waking up in the county jail, not the county jail, in the general hospital. The last floor is the jail ward.
Oh.
So yeah, so I woke up there. Me and my friend woke up right there, handcuffed to a bed, and we were idiots, you know what I mean? And we were right there thinking it was fun. Everything was good, you know. Ended up going through the process and ended up getting the charges. It was first home invasion, kidnapping, and something else. I forgot what it was, but the other one didn't matter because those two overrode all those. We were just worried about those two, right?
Right.
And so because I guess this guy was a drug dealer, he wasn't showing up to court. But me and my friend wanted to go to prison so bad because we thought that was like graduating. So I told him, hey man, let's just take a deal. But the lawyer was telling us, man, you guys could beat this. Nobody's showing up. But me and my friend were like, man, let's go to prison. Let's go see what these guys are talking about, right? So we ended up taking a plea bargain. We took, I think, 4 years it was. And from that, we never stopped going after that, man. You know, it was just fun. You know what I mean? And if traveling, that was my traveling right there at that time, you know. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's crazy because in the environment we grew up in, and Dowden, you might trip out on what I'm gonna say right now. The environment we grew up in, going to jail and going to prison was like akin to going to university, or that's the next level shit you wanted to get to. And because a lot of the fucking fools that when they just get out, you see how they're treated, and I don't know. I never went to prison. I didn't do no state time. However, I don't want to do any time. I'm good. I like my freedom.
But you did do time.
Huh?
You did do some time. When you joined the army, you started doing time. Because while I was in prison, you were going somewhere else fighting for your country.
You're right.
And that's almost like you leaving your family. You know what I mean? That's almost like me. I'm leaving my family. You're leaving your family. You know what I mean? You're out there at war. I'm at war. Like it's just, that's where I see the similarities at.
You're right. And you're right. I guess you could say that because I went to a place for a year where I was on my toes and there were certain protocols we had to take. And there was certain lifestyle.
You're stuck there for a year.
Was that?
I said you're stuck there for a year. It's not like, you can just, I'm tired. I just want to go home.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said time stops. Time stops for us, and that's what it's for you. Now, with that, when you got out, like, okay, so while you were in and, you had your homeboy, did you have any homeboys there from the streets?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you had your.
Well, remember, when you're growing up in the system,
you
start knowing a lot of people.
Right.
So no matter wherever you go, you always find somebody and you could, it's like almost going to a meeting and a meeting of maybe about 15 people. Mm-hmm. But if you don't know nobody, you only know one person, you're going to gravitate to that person,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is over there. You know what I mean? Who's from LA? Oh, okay. Who's right here? Okay. And then, it's a small world in there,
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
I remember when I got into 9500s and motherfuckers were like, hey, where you from? Oh, you got some homeboys over here, And all right, cool. And
so that's what kind of helps you out a lot. You know what I mean? It's all about survival in there,
I was going to get to that. So what kind of support system do you have? Like, I mean,
where
in the military. So in the military, when we deployed, we have each other, right? We have each other's back. Like Dowden, I know I'll Dowden and have my back every step of the way. I ain't got to worry about him fucking stabbing me in the back.
Right.
In the system, I don't know how it is, with that.
I got a Dowden too.
Go ahead. Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah, the same way that you grow that brotherhood. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Whoever you're with, because I'm sure that if they ship you somewhere else and you were just with someone, how you say you're in Korea at some point, right? Right. Let's say from Korea you go to Afghanistan and you find somebody there that you were with in Korea, you're gonna chill with that person, right?
Right.
They're gonna look out for you. They're gonna put you up on game. Look, this is how it is right here, right? Do they look out for you or no?
Right. You know you're right. I mean,
So that's that's the same way in prison. When you go to prison, either if you find somebody from your neighborhood, if you don't, you're gonna know somebody from somewhere else because growing up in the system is a small world.
Right.
So in there, once you get in there, especially if you're about the business, you're gonna go in there and they're gonna be like, oh, that's the homie. And they're gonna be like, hey, hook them up, you know what I mean? Go give them some clothes, go give them some, you know what I mean? Some soups, go hook them up because that's that's what you earn because you're part of the madness. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
If you're lame, if you're a nobody, they're gonna be like, oh, that's just so and so. You know what I mean? We'll make that motherfucker cook our food then. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
And then so iron my underwear and shit.
Yeah. And no, and there, if you find someone that's loyal, man, you found a good thing, bro. You know what I mean? Because loyalty or like friends, they're only a hand size. You know what I mean? Like I don't really call everybody my friends. You know what I mean? Like you're an acquaintance, but to know somebody that that like how you say you got dog that got your back.
Yeah.
For me, there's only like 5 that got my back that I know for sure.
Funny you say that. In the military, it's the same way in the army.
Yeah.
A lot of motherfuckers will say that they have your back, but when the bullets start fucking flying,
they got it way back.
Yeah.
You can figure out who does.
Yeah.
Exactly, dude.
Same way there. Yep.
There's a lot of motherfuckers that are, you got motherfuckers that are your brothers, for example. I think this is one thing that the gangsters and with the gang life and military have in common. Yeah. You have your motherfuckers that are your brothers because they're from the hood. Or, because they're in the military. But then you got your motherfucking road dogs, your perros that are going to be with you. And that's motherfuckers that are in your squad, your section, be fucking with you, ride or fucking die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those are hard to come by. You
know?
You can count them on your hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so that's how it really goes in there. So when you say like if you got homies, you'll find those that
What about the support system from the family? Like when you get out, let's say you did your time.
I'm lying. There is a support, but most of that support was just like when you get out with nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to start all over again. You know what I'm saying? So when you start all over again, you know what I mean? The only one that looked out is moms. Moms always found a place for me to lay my head in. I'm not even gonna lie, my boy. You know what I mean? Like my dad, that's all they're involved in. You know what I'm saying? I've never asked that man for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not on but my mom, oh my God, man. If it wasn't for my mom, I don't think I'd probably be homeless or something. You get what I'm saying? Because mom is really what helped me have a place to stay till I got on my feet. You know what I'm saying? And even though if that man doing what I did, what I best knew what to do, you know what I mean? Like, you go back to the same old stuff, right. If you haven't found something different.
You get stuck back into it because when you get out,
and then,
you got to make some money somehow.
Yeah. And that doesn't last long, you know what I mean? So you end up getting caught up again. But mom's always looked out, bro. One thing about her and someone else I always looked out was Michelle. Michelle, and no matter if I didn't call and I called like 3 months later, she would be the only one that accepted my phone call. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, I would know, my mom always would accept it. The other ones, I don't know. I don't even know if they ever answered, but Michelle and my mom were like the best, you know what I mean? That I could say that was my support. But as far as trying to get my feet, trying to make it again, you know what I mean?
Right.
But as far as like someone that mentored me or, or say, you know what, look, you got to do this or put me aside and say, you know what, you're not doing things right. I didn't have that. I didn't have that until when I got out the last time. And I started putting myself around men that were tired themselves from that shit. You know what I mean? They were like, you know what? They seen things for what they really were. And from, like you said, whatever you hang around with, you almost start looking like them. You know what I mean? You'll start looking just like them. So you know what your crowd is by the way you act, by the way you know what I mean? The way you talk, things you do, you know what kind of crowd you might be around. You know what I mean?
You created yourself a different environment.
And that's what it was. Instead of going back to the same old thing, I replaced that with something positive. At least, even though they felt that they weren't much, they were really helping me out a lot because they were giving me a place to go. Right. Because when you're bored, that's when you get in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
I said that all the time. Especially with people like us. We have idle mind is a devil's playground. It's a devil's playground. And I'm sure that you suffer from some sort of fucking PTSD.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we both do.
You know, I'm sure you do, especially, the
the things you've seen.
We haven't even touched on. We haven't even
just the ass whoopings are trauma.
Facts.
That itself is trauma. You know what I mean? Like, you could get trauma just by hearing a balloon pop, and not even being aware of it. And that could play a little effect on you. Know what I mean? But the things that we do, there's this thing called complex trauma, man. That when you experience trauma back to back to back, so when you're barely trying to get over this trauma, another one hits you. another one hits you, and that's why you start becoming so normal to violence, or you don't.
Right.
It doesn't look crazy to us because that's our norm. You know what I'm saying?
That's what, and it reverts back to when we were kids. Like I go back to when we were kids.
Yeah.
I think that even as youngsters, we kind of had a destiny to do something that was not of the norm, because we always were contra la corriente, as they say. You know,
Right.
we always went against the grain.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we were always seeking that fucking thrill. I'll give you an example. Remember when we were in high school, that we went to a certain building, and certain things happened in that building, and we left, and helicopters were around it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think you told me this story offline.
I told you it offline because I don't know the statute of limitations on things.
Yeah.
So,
let's not do that right now.
but the thing about it is, like, we gotta risk a thrill out of that shit.
Yeah.
You know, we were discussing a few days ago. We got a thrill out of fucking calling 911 and prank calls. You know,
Yeah.
And
just because we wanted to see the police, the ambulance come, and we used to think that was, that is crazy, man. And that was an addiction, because we didn't just do it like, oh, we're bored, let's just do that right now. No, it was, okay, let's do it again now. You know what I mean? Like, there's another payphone right there. Hey, come on, not. And then when we even practice before we jumped on the phone, like, okay, this time say that you've been shot. All right, I just got shot. I can't breathe. I'm sorry. And then just lay the phone down, and then sit across the street and watch this whole madness just happen.
Yeah.
Then we even ask, hey, did anybody get hurt around here? Oh yeah, we think we've seen something over there down the street. Crazy, man. But you know what?
We would do
that
it.
Was the rush. That was the rush.
Yeah, we would do it multiple times in a day. You know, and I think well, the thing is, I think it was like stepping stools. You know, if I think about it now, they were stepping stools to what eventually. If I wouldn't have left LA, I probably would have been. I'm serious by now. I would have been dead by now. You know, and I think that it was just this thrill seeking. And it goes back to, for me, at least in my part, was I wanted to belong. And I would do things because I thought that would make me belong or in better with that group that I was hanging out with. Hindsight is 2020. I still got love for my neighborhood. I love it. But I look back at it and I wish I could go back to tell Danny at a younger age, like, hey, fool, some of these decisions you're going to make are going to fuck you up. Don't do them. But like you said, at the same time, Doggle, the decisions that we made back then made us who we are now.
Exactly.
Yep.
They're not necessarily bad decisions. They're life lessons.
Yeah.
Created the man you are today.
That's the white way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Their life.
Or we could think about it like the Hispanic say, if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. What, you know what I mean? Why live with what if? You know what I mean? It is what it is. Embrace it and just come on. Let's keep on pushing. You know,
your mom. Your mom has a special place in my heart. That's my sister. I love Gladys with all my heart, because whenever I was ever in any shenanigans or shit was going south, I remember one time we got into some trouble at my neighborhood house, and where, let's just say, there was some food staking out the house and we needed to dip out. You know what I mean? Because there was some shit that was supposed to go on later on there at that house. We had to cut loose and we didn't have nowhere to go. So the only person I could think of calling was your mom. So I called up my sister, like, hey, here's what's going on. Can you help me out? And sure enough, boom, like, of course, come over here. You know, or if I needed,
my mom always looks out.
If I needed any financial assistance, any financial help, you know, without even a fucking question in her head, she's like, how much do you need? You know, here you go. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and she never, ever to this date threw it in my face.
Yeah.
Anybody's face, like, I did
she won't.
for you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's what I love about my sister. That I love her with all my heart. I haven't talked to her in decades, since I went to go visit back in LA where we got up together. Since we remember? Shit, that's been like what, 9 years?
Yeah, almost like around 9 years. What was it, like 2011 or something like that?
2012
or something like that.
Yeah, 2011, because Emily had just been born. What happened, Cowden?
Did you have to talk to your sister in 9 years?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
That's just how the family is, though.
Yeah, our family is kind of fucked up like that.
Yeah, it's like that. Like, you got family, but like you and me and Danny, we haven't chopped it up like this for a long ass time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only time we chop it up is maybe we're on Facebook or Instagram, and over a picture or something. You know what I mean?
And honestly, the last time we had a conversation like this again was at Burger Palace. That same
when I met up, when we seen that fight.
Yeah,
there's a fight on the street. Yeah, he goes to visit the friend. That tells him, "Look, you got a welcoming party right there." Just start fighting in the middle of the street.
That shit
jumping somebody. Yeah,
it was classic. Linda had never been in my neighborhood. My old lady's first time in my neighborhood. Burger Palace is the best burger joint ever.
Hell yeah, and, burger special.
Oh yeah, and you'll know you're at the right place because there's gonna be a bum at the drive-through asking you for a quarter or $1. But so we get there
a quarter.
It's probably $1.
Don't ask for no quarters no more, man. They ask for $5.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, and they carry for you could swipe your card now, man. Yeah, I'm not playing, man.
Squarespace.
Yeah, man, these guys are vans, man. They're doing good.
They done moved up in life.
They moved up, man.
So we get there, Dowden. We sat down. We had barely sat down and started eating. Not even 3 to 5 minutes later. He's like, "Hey, fool, check it out. They're having a fight right there in the middle of the street." Sure enough, going at it. We're home. This is home. My old lady, she's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, she's from the valley. She doesn't know about things. Now the valley but where I'm from, where we're from, that's just normal. Like,
that's normal. Yeah,
that was the norm, dude.
That's normal.
As kids, we would get into fights, and we enjoyed fight. You know what's fucked up? It's funny. Your pops was like, Dani, amigo, ¿se acuerda cuando los ponía a pelear a ustedes cuando estaban pequeños? So for the non-Spanish speakers, do you remember when we used to make you guys fight? Because our parents would put us to fight each other. But I don't think in the long run, when I think about it, like you said earlier, it's the way they were brought up in the old school, and that in a way helped us out who we were when we were growing up, because we grew up in fucked up areas where you had to fight. My neighborhood wasn't the poorest, but it was a fucking rough neighborhood. Like, especially when it was nothing but blacks there. And, I was that Mexican. Like, I thought I was Mexican until I was about 11 years old. And then you could tell there was a Salvi coming down the street because this guy coming in his car. Hey, hijo de puta, ¿qué pasó, cerote? This was calling me all kinds of Salvadoran names.
Hey, you thought you were like David Chappelle?
Fuck yeah.
The clan. That's just
Black
funny,
power,
man. Yeah, Black Power. That was funny, man.
It was fucking hilarious, bro. I mean, but tying it back together, like back to the whole military comparison and contrasting. We have each other's backs. We have a love for our country. When we fought or when we go do what we do, it's not for our government. We don't do it even for our country. We do it for the person who's to the left and to the right of us. And the same thing.
That's what they instill in you whenever you go through. Like, look to your left, to your right. These are going to be the people that you depend on, and they depend on you.
And it's the same thing with the neighborhood too, though, because like Dago was saying, if another neighborhood does something to your neighborhood or to one of your friends, you're not going to just let that shit slide. You're going to go out there at TCB, and fucking, if you don't, then you're just going to be a bitch for the rest of your life. And it goes back to that respect factor, but then it goes back to that fear factor. And at the
everything is ran like gangs, though, man. I think gangs run the world, bro. I mean, the United States is a gang. You know what I mean? Other countries are gangs. Like, it all runs the same way. It's just that we're just in a smaller scale. We're talking about a neighborhood, and they're talking about a whole country, bro. You get what I'm saying? And
it's like the big home,
and that's almost
that sense.
Yeah. Look, and you got a president. You know what I mean? You got the Congress. You got levels. You know what I mean? And that's just like in gangs or even the mob. You know what I mean? They got their own structure. I mean, everything's ran the same way. It's just with a higher cost. You know what I mean? Like I mean, you fuck with the United States, you're gonna get your ass whooped. Bottom line, bro. You know what I mean? We might fuck up this world, but we will come out winning. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna fuck with us. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you are soldiers, and that's the way we feel when we're in the streets.
Right.
We're gonna fuck you up too.
Street soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's fucked up. And now that I'm thinking about it, Dowd, and correct me if I'm wrong, you know, we're fighting for a country that we don't even know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know,
you don't even know sometimes what you're fighting for.
Like what he's saying, it's so fucking political. Like, you know, you're just told, hey, go out and run this mission.
Right.
What are we doing it for?
Right.
To fucking do it.
Dude, it's like when we were in Iraq. In Iraq, we used to go on patrols, right? In LA, in my neighborhood, I remember we used to call it hood patrol. We're gonna go on hood patrol. You know, you get on your bike, start cruising around the neighborhood, trying to fucking find who's not supposed to be there. You know, you go on missions. We won't say what those missions are, but you went on missions and took care of business. You know, and there were risk factors. And again, that rush, that fucking rush. You know,
knowing what the outcome is going to be at the end of it. You know?
Yeah, that's the thing about it.
You know, we'd all be joking and fucking around, and then we'd get in the Humvees and leave, and it was fucking game on, everybody on point, no fucking around after that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then I'm sure that you guys got friends that didn't come back, right? Or that they came back and maybe don't have an arm, don't have a leg now. You know what I mean? Like
country. The unit we were relieving got blown up. What, 3 days from leaving, Lopez?
Yeah. And so that, you know, that's the same way for us. Like, you know, and someone in the gang, like, you lose friends too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You lose friends and that trauma again. That trauma is the same. We're experiencing the same trauma. It's just in a different scenario.
Right.
You're fighting for your country and we're fighting for this block.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, that trauma could fuck you up.
Yep.
Dude. You know what I mean? If you don't know how to manage it, man.
And I'm glad that's a great way that I wanted to pivot into the next thing we're going to discuss now. You know, and everybody, if you guys are listening to this, I appreciate y'all listening to this episode. Again, it's not your typical midweek memo where we're talking military shit. There is some military aspect to it, but this is mostly an interview, call it Family Day on the Gun Line, where, you know, it's great to have different diversity onto the here. And talking about trauma, you did outreach work, you were telling me, out there in Skid Row, right? And you see veterans out there, you know, that were fucked up. And
so right now I'm working with youth again. I've been doing this for the past 10 years, right? But I've been working prevention and intervention programs from San Fernando all the way to Watts.
Okay.
So I've been working in schools, middle schools, doing groups, doing all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? And I think I did everything backwards. So I did the experience first, and now I'm getting the book smart. So that's why it's so easy for me, because I already done the work. So when they're talking about certain things, I already seen it. I already know how it works. So it comes, you know what I mean? That's why I'm able to do what I'm doing right now through school. You know what I mean? Getting good grades. But anyways, I just finished before where I'm at right now. I just started on the 1st, or on the 3rd actually, of this month. Prior to that, I was working at a shelter, and at the shelter, it was a crisis shelter for 90 days. It's a 90-day program. And, you know what I mean? And within those 90 days, they expect them to get housed. You know what I mean? If they don't get housed, then you give them extensions. You know what I mean? So you got crisis bed, which are those from the streets that, you know, maybe they're chronic homeless. What they consider chronic homeless are the ones that have been homeless for more than 4 years, 5 years. You know what I mean? They've been homeless for a while. And then you got ADA beds, which are for the disabled. So those are, you know, some people, not everybody that's on the street is on drugs. Not everybody that's on the streets is you know what I mean, crazy. You know what I mean? It's everybody has their different scenarios, right? You got mental health, you know what I mean, you got substance abuse, and then you got a lot of trauma. Then you got those that don't have no one, or maybe their family passed away and they didn't know how to take all that, you know what I mean, and ended up losing it, and that's how they end up in the streets. So in that shelter, I would say at least almost 10% of it was veterans. And these veterans, I would say maybe 1 or 2 they had dual diagnosis, which is substance abuse mixed in with mental health. You know what I mean? So they're, instead of them taking medication, they're coping with drugs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I would think like, man, these men right here, like you would know, like, because when you're doing their paperwork and all that stuff, you're doing the intake, they're telling you their military history. You know what I mean? Because right away you want to plug them in with the vets. You know what I mean? You want to plug them in with the, I don't know, with the, where the vets go,
VA.
the VA. You want to plug them in with the VA. You know what I mean? Because you guys have a lot of benefits, you know, but you got to get plugged in. You got to do certain things in there, right?
Right.
But some of them are stuck. You know what I mean? Some of them, man, I don't know what. Some of them got different stories, and I think like, man, these men were right here fighting for our country, but yet they're at a shelter. You know what I mean? Like, how could you go? Maybe you were in Vietnam. You know what I mean? Or maybe you were. You know what I mean? You got a lot of vets. You got a lot of vets that are from Vietnam that got stuck on drugs. You know what I'm saying? And they ended up in the streets. You know what I mean? And I think like, man, how you gonna fight for a country and then come back and be asked out? You know what I'm saying? And I get it that, oh, we didn't do it for that. We did it for our people, you know, for freedom. You know, this is not, you know, certain people did it for certain reasons. You know what I mean? And that's just the same way you tell me, like, damn, how the hell you out there almost killing yourself for a neighborhood you don't even own? Well, I didn't do it for them. I did it for my homies.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, our outcomes are almost the same. Not all the same, but the same way someone ended in a shelter is the same way one of my homies ended up in a shelter, because he just got out and he's stuck, got no education.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he don't got no VA. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just like
no GA. You know?
Yeah, there's no GA. You know what I mean? So I think if anything, bro, with this homeless epidemic going on, I think if anything, pick up all our veterans, man. Pick up all our veterans, man. House them. But I mean, I know everybody else needs help, man. But man, you fought for our country, bro. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for those men and women fighting out there, we wouldn't be able to even have this conversation right here. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be free to do that. Yeah, you know what I mean? People complain about this is not about our country. Our country might be this and that, but I tell you, this is the best country in the motherfucking world. I guarantee that. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And that's what I believe. You know what I mean? So I always look at gangs and military the same. I know that our outcomes are different, you know what I mean? But almost the mindset, you have to be almost on the same page. You got to believe that there's something bigger than you. To you guys is the country, and to us is that neighborhood. You get what I'm saying?
Yep. And dude, you are so on point on that. To be in the military, you have to have a certain type of mindset, a mind frame. You know, to be a gangster, you have to have a certain type of mind frame, you know. And unfortunately, you know, the military is shying away from that. You know, they're going now to a more corporate America, a more corporate military.
More like a business.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and that is not how it works. Like, trust me, I think that the military would run perfectly if you had a bunch of fucking knuckleheads, you know, from the streets. Not that I've already been knuckleheads long enough, because they're just going to go against authority anyway. But there's a lot of fools. Honestly, I know a lot of cats, dude. And I'm pretty sure you probably knew a lot of fools that, if given the opportunity, if they would have been in the military, they would have been fucking successful.
Yeah.
Because it's not that they're dumb. You know, my little homeboy Evil, rest in peace, that kid, man. I remember when he got killed, that shit broke my fucking heart. But that kid was smart as fuck, man. You remember Evil, right?
Yeah, they lived in the corner house.
Yeah.
With his sister, Sonny, or
So, you know, when he got killed, bro, I remember when he was a little kid going to fucking elementary school, and I would tell him, hey, man, he's like, hey, can I hang out with y'all? Like, nah, man, get your ass in school, go do your homework, then you could come and hang out. You know, I told him there's nothing that says you got to be stupid to be a gangster. You know, you could have a fucking brain. And just like we were discussing earlier, but, you know, that kid, he would have been so great just because he had a good fucking mind in his head, you know. But when he got killed, his life got taken off so short. And it brings me to that, the thing of, if these kids had a way to divert that energy, you know, into that, I think they would be more successful, and the military would get something out of it, because they get motherfuckers that have the personality that need it. For example, yourself, like you were saying, you loved violence at the time, you know, and there's motherfuckers that thrive off of that, and they make good fucking,
they make all
great strangers.
Yeah.
They make them good special forces soldiers.
Exactly. You know, and it's just another big misconception I think a lot of people have about gangbanging is that it comes from like single family households, you know, and like you were saying from the beginning, mom and pops working.
They were both there. Well, they were there to provide, but
but they weren't there.
Yeah.
You know,
they were there to supervise.
Well,
like you said earlier.
And here's one thing, and you know, Dowden, you better start thinking about some questions to ask because I'm about to run out of topics. But here's one thing. Now that I'm older, and I don't know if it's hit you, but I almost teared up one day when I was thinking about the sacrifices that my parents made, you know, coming over here. And, you know, I was sitting back and I was just chilling, you know, smoking my cigar. And I'm thinking like my mom was a teacher in Nicaragua. She came over here to clean fucking hotel rooms and people's houses and babysit. My dad has always been a laborer, you know, didn't have a first pair of shoes till he was 9 years old. And then had a family in El Salvador, came over here and had myself and Doug. And then, you know, came in and took upon some other kids that weren't his and just worked to provide a better life for us. Yep. And how do I fucking thank them? By being a shitty fucking kid. You know what I mean? And I'm looking about this in hindsight. And that's why now that I'm older, I apologize to my mom and my pops. Like, you know, I'm sorry for the shit that I put y'all through because that wasn't your intent. You came over here to give us a better life and we shit on it. But I'm hoping that I did better now. You know what I mean? And they're proud of the shit that I've done and that I've accomplished now.
Yeah.
And the only way I could do it now is to pay it forward. Let my kids fucking have the opportunity that I didn't have. Pero I'm going to be there for my kids like my parents. It's not that they didn't want to be there. It's that they couldn't be there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, the parents were there. We had home, food, family, but certain circumstances brought us, for me again, was belonging. I wanted to belong. Like you said, I saw my brother Doug hanging out with Angel, with Jeff, with Smurf, you know, and I liked that and I wanted it, you know, and I got that. I guess I got to have my cake in 82 because I had it from the streets and then I had it from the military side. You know what I'm saying? So,
you know what, too? I think that the culture shock, like, you know, because my mom, my dad, they're like the first generation to be out here. You know what I mean? Right. And I think, you know, for us, we're growing up in a different culture. You know what I'm saying? And as you're going to school, what we think might be cool, to them might be like, oh, hell no. You know what I mean? I didn't dress like that when I was little in my country. Right. And I think that itself starts pushing you away because, you know, everything was, oh, no, this is the cholo. You know what I mean? And it really wasn't, you know what I mean? But it was just because it was something different for them, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, moms, I think she made it to high school. I'm not sure, but I know my dad, he's an Indian. You know what I mean? It's Indio. You know what I mean? He's straight from the campo. You know what I mean? So him, you know what I mean? And then I don't think his dad was around. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that plays a part. You know what I mean? So I think like at the end of the day, they did their best, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't complain. You know what I mean? At least they tried. Yeah. You know what I mean? At least they didn't hurt. You know what I mean? They didn't do anything on purpose to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Because you got some parents out there that they'll choose they'll choose dick over a kid any day. You know what I mean? Or you got motherfuckers, men that will choose pussy over their kid any day too. You know? Yep. So you got some fucked up parenting out there too. But I can say, you know what I mean? At least they tried and they did good. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure they're proud of us. You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure they didn't expect us to be where we're at today. You know what I mean? And even other family members, you know? Yeah. You know what I mean? So, you know, at least if, you know what I mean, if I don't talk to my family and they watch this, they could say, you know what, hey, at least this guy got a good head on his shoulder. You know what I mean? Because I thought he was lost out there. You know what I'm saying?
You know, through all this whole time, I mean, honestly, I think that the odds, I mean, I thought there were times where I was like, fuck, man, I wonder if he's still alive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I hadn't heard from him in a while, you know, like, damn, is he still alive or not? Like when you got shot, I remember the first time you got shot, you were shot in the leg, I think.
Yeah, in the leg, yeah.
Yeah, and then the second time was when that happened with that incident.
When that happened, yeah.
So, I mean, I was just wondering, like, damn, you know, this fool. I remember there was a time where you thought, I don't know if you were joking or not, but you thought you were invincible. You know, you were like, fuck that. They can't kill me. You know,
that was my problem.
Yeah.
And remember that every time I would get drunk at your house, I always wanted to go to the hood. And then you guys would tell me, I think Doug would tell me, like, here you go with your shit again, man. I go, come on, man, just give me a ride. And they'll be like, I'll be like, yeah. I would get drunk and I want to go with it. And you know what I mean? These guys would be like, no, man, just stay right here. You know what I mean? Where are you going to go? And it'll be like Thanksgiving, Christmas, something. You know what I mean? And you know, and because they cared, you know what I mean? They would tell me stay, you know what I mean? But I was just hard. I was already drinking and that's the only thing I knew what to do, you know what I mean? So you didn't appreciate those things, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's the type of love that, you know, even though you don't see each other, I could see you, like we're talking, but like the way we're talking right now,
yeah,
it's like we've been talking like this forever.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's family, you know what I mean?
Hey,
like
gentlemen.
even with Doug, if I see Doug, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be chopping it up too, no matter how ugly he looks. You get what I'm saying? But
hey, I'm gonna put a stop to this one real quick. I'm gonna send one more out and we're gonna wrap it up because it's already 11 o'clock.
Oh, hey, wait, whenever you're ready, bro.
All right,
I know you.
let's do one more and we'll wrap it up. All right.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Round 3. I appreciate y'all sticking with us. If you have, we're gonna get ready to wrap this up here soon. It's been going on for about 2 hours now, so I love hanging out with my nephew. And I love hearing his stories, and I hope that you guys are getting something out of this, you know, something different. And hopefully Dalton is going to bring it with some questions now, because I don't know what questions to ask. You guys feel free. If you guys have any questions for him, let me know. Hit me up on thegunline@gmail.com. Make sure you guys hit me up in the comments, in the YouTube comments, in the Facebook comments, in the DMs. If you guys have any questions for him, you know, about the life of a gangster, and whatever you want to ask, you know, he's an open book. Dowden, I was just telling the crew, I hope you got some questions, Chief. Ask anything, whatever curiosity piques, man.
He's run through a lot of the questions just with, he's got a great story.
Right.
I mean, just from where he started to where he is, it's you probably don't see that very often.
Unfortunately, you don't. Usually it's the grave or prison, you know.
That's what I'm saying, and what he's doing with his life, you know, it's remarkable, really.
And my bad if I've been having, I know I said you're gonna be facilitating, you're gonna be leading this shit.
Oh, dude, it's been good, man. It's been great seeing you guys, you know, kind of cut up and have have your family time and kind of bounce stories off one another. It's been awesome for me. I mean, I know the listeners are certainly going to like it. We're number 3?
This is the
third invite into this deal, so it's a story that needs to be told, and even with this third one, I don't think it's going to be wrapped up.
Dude, I mean, I can go on all day with Otgl. I mean, there's a lot of things like I said, man, me and him were 2 peas of the same pod. He went harder than I. He's always done that, though. He's always gone harder than me. It's always been a competition with him and I. And
I don't think I went harder. I think that you caught it sooner than me. You were smarter.
I don't know, man.
You were able to find something different. I mean, that's a blessing, man. Because like you say, who's to know if we were still at my grandfather's house?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Nothing, everything that happened for a reason. You know what I mean? And that's led us to where we're at today, bro. You know what I mean? Because thank God I'm not there. You know what I mean? Thank God I'm not doing life in jail. You know what I'm saying? Dude. Thank God you're alive. You know what I mean? So you caught it.
We were talking about it just now before you came on, like, you know, your journey, where you started, where you've been, where you're at now, you know, and normally that's not the outcome, especially for a gangster.
A lot of people.
Especially for a gangster that went as hard as you did. You know what I'm saying? And normally that it ends up in the fucking grave. You know?
But you know what, man? We prison. Yeah. But we all took the same chance, bro. It's just, I really believe that we're all destined for something, man. We're all destined for greatness, bro. It's you finding what it is. What's your purpose, bro? You know what I mean? I'm not into I did that church thing at some point, but even in that, there's politics, bro. You know what I mean? Man has dipped into that so much that it's been corrupted.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The simplicity of God has been taken away from the church, bro, just because of greed. You know what I mean? Man destroys everything they touches, bro.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
Massive churches we have, those big, huge churches. It's all about, money.
Money. It's all about money.
The church needs money. Well, why does the church need money? What are y'all doing with it?
Yeah.
Why is the pastor living in a, big ass mansion with a Mercedes and butlers and shit? That's not for the church. That was for him.
Yeah.
That was his life.
And the worst ones are the ones that are in the inner cities, man. The ones that are in communities that they're preying off the old and the ones that are going through stuff, bro. Because those are taking money every week. They're taking money from somebody that they need money. You know what I mean? It's like, give me money right now for the church and this and that. But yet this person, that's probably the last dollar.
Yep.
And because their faith is so big, they're giving it to them with a cheerful heart.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And while this guy right here is just coming up on them. You get what I'm saying?
It's a hustle.
And the good thing about it, though, that it's their faith is what's going to move God's hand. It's not going to be that pastor. Yep. It's going to be their faith. You get what I'm saying? Because no matter what their intentions were, it's going to come out to be good because their faith will move mountains. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's what spirituality is, man. And I know that we got gods, and look at India. India has many gods. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's what you believe in, bro.
Yep.
And what you manifesting. You know what I mean? Like, if you believe in something good and this and that, what you put in, even though you might not get it back, it'll go back to one of your family members. You can't go wrong with giving good, bro. Right. By loving somebody, you know what I mean? And by loving everybody's differences, you know what I'm saying? But this world is, in order for someone to win, someone has to lose. Right. Why? Why does someone have to lose? Win. Why can't we all be winners? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about it. And that's the shit I'm talking about that they put that shit in us when we're young, bro. They're setting us up for a system. And I know that must sound crazy, and that's what I really believe, man.
Oh, no, go ahead.
But there's a system. Why don't they teach us money management? Why don't they teach us how to you know what I mean? Life skills.
I think all that shit's basically out of school now. I don't think they teach any kind of finances or anything anymore.
They took away mechanics. They took away the wood shops. They took away at least stuff that that if you got a little experience on, you could go about life and at least, oh, my car's not working. Okay, let me try to see if I can fix it.
Right. Now it's like my kids, if my kids don't, I've got one kid that does pretty good in football. He wants to go to college and all that. I tell my kids, go to trade school. Don't go after a fucking degree in liberal arts and all that. Yeah. Because trade school, electrical, plumbing, IT's a big one right now. Auto mechanics.
IT's real big.
People are going to need that for years to fucking come. I mean, that's a recession-proof job.
Yeah. Or teach them how to manage money. We live with money all our lives.
Not how to manage money too.
All our lives. Look at all the stimulus checks that went out. All these guys are like, yeah, we got money coming in.
The old Biden butts. Get them and spend them.
You could have saved it. They could have saved it, but now what? They're broke again. Instead of flipping that money to more, like you got 1,000, flip it and make 2,000. But no, they're quick to waste it.
Go buy a big ass TV real quick.
Oh man, we about to jump into some politics right now.
Man, but what I'm trying to say is that they're so quick to waste to waste that money that they don't even think about, let's do something with this. Why do we have to wait for another stimulus check?
Or put it in savings.
Why can't I be the stimulus? Why can't I give out money?
Why can't I stimulate my own self?
Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like, why not have that type of mindset, bro?
And here's the thing, Doggo. And here's the thing. I think our family is a different breed, because one thing that I know for a fact in our family, both the Lopez and the Ramirez, we were taught to have fucking pride in what we fucking do. We work for what we fucking want. You know what I mean? I know, at least for the Lopez side, my dad would not do welfare. They did it one fucking time and they said no.
Yeah, because they used to make you go
with the food stamps
to the corners. Hey, what about the powdered milk, bro?
Oh my God, dude.
Powdered milk. That was my grandfather, huh?
Yeah, that was
my
dude,
grandfather.
my dad
man.
would not buy anything other than cornflakes and powdered milk.
Yeah, or those cinnamon rolls
What
in the morning. Not cinnamon rolls, but the ones from the ABC market, the little with the glaze on top.
Yeah, the honey buns.
Yeah, the honey buns. Yeah, he used to buy honey buns all the time.
Yeah, he did. Holy shit, dude! Do you remember like how things were different back when we were kids? Like when we went to Indio and we rode in the back of the truck,
Yeah,
all the way from LA to Indio.
yeah.
And we're talking about a little ass rinky-dink pickup truck, and we sat in the back of it. No seat belts, no nothing.
No, none of that shit.
You can't do that shit now.
No, you can't do that now. Only in Alabama.
Shit. Yeah, well, in Alabama you can fuck your cousins. So
yeah, I think you could do it in Alabama with a chair in the back. I seen that shit. I seen it. Somebody showed me a picture.
I mean, you can do it anywhere. I mean, well, I miss the South. I'll tell you one thing. One thing I did learn in the military, man. There's a lot more to the U.S. than what we knew in LA. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
you know, and I'm sure you saw that in of all places in prison because the diversity there. I remember my homeboy Weddle when he got out, he was like, "Man, I never liked country music until I went to prison." You know, white boys, they like those Peckerwoods. They just listen to that country all the time. You know.
Well, that's the only station you got up there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's why you listen. That's why you end up listening to country, because those are the only stations you got in those in the boonies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, I wonder what happened to a lot of my homeboys. I have never found out what happened with Manny.
I just recently seen a picture of Jeff and Smurf.
Yeah,
Veronica.
Veronica put it up.
Yeah,
Jeff.
Yeah, I had just seen it.
Check this shit out. Watts. Why are houses in Watts costing $400,000?
Because they're doing gentrified.
Man, you ain't gentrified.
They're gonna gentrify it. You should see all Alameda now.
Really?
Alameda's nothing but stores, and they got brand new apartments. So where the projects are at, it's all apartment buildings, built brand new apartments. They knocked down. I think they knocked down half of the project or something like that. Oh no, they didn't knock down the project. They built. You know where my mom's house is at?
Yeah.
Okay. You know how you go to Martin Luther King and you hit the corner in Alameda?
Yeah.
Okay, all that was empty. That's all brand new stores. Everything. It's increasing the price.
You have like junkyard and shit right there.
Yeah, all that's gone right there. The yard, everything's gone. It's right next to the projects.
Damn.
Yeah. So all that's going up right there, man.
That's crazy, dude.
Crazy.
Yeah.
$400,000 per house, huh?
In Watts.
Hey, is that a
number Watts is?
Well, you heard of South Central, Compton, then there's Watts.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So it's
run down.
Dude, it's fucking ridiculous to me because my house that I live in, I only paid $270 and some change. And
damn.
Texas, man. I love fucking Texas. I'll tell you.
How much is the rent over there?
Rent? About $1,100, depending on
where a lot?
Depending where you live, yeah. $1,200 is a lot, yeah.
Over here is $2,600.
Come mierda, 2,600.
Yeah.
Pergazos mejor.
Yeah, 2,600.
How the
right
fuck
now,
survive on that shit?
Man, and LA by the Staples Center, a single is 2,200.
Damn.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to work a lot more than 40 hours a week to afford that shit.
Yeah. Or you better have a good job or something.
For real.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm telling you, here in Texas, there's no state tax. That helps. And then what's pissing me off, though, I put this up a lot on Facebook.
But your property tax is expensive down there.
Yes, they are.
That's where
I'm a veteran, and yeah, property tax is where they get you, but you don't get state tax. Pero here's the thing about Texas, though. I love it out here. People that are coming from Cali,
they're fucking it up.
They're fucking it up because they're bringing their politics with them, and the politics are what people from Cali are leaving because of. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's fucking it up. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a fucking Republican. I'm not a fucking Democrat. I'm in the middle. I don't categorize myself. I want fucking Tulsi Gabbard to win, goddammit. I'm still bitter about it. But, you know, they're coming over here. There's a lot of fucking Californians out here, especially in San Antonio, man. There's a lot of fools from LA here They got In and Out here now, which honestly.
Oh, there was no In and Out?
Oh, let me ask you something.
Yeah. Texas is Whataburger.
Yes.
Oh, Whataburger? That's in Arizona, too.
Whataburger, son.
Oh, Whataburger is blasting it out. And now here's the thing.
I've had that right there in Arizona.
Yes. So here's the thing. I'm not a fucking In and Out guy. Never have been. Porque the nearest In and Out to my neighborhood was in Downey.
Right.
And to me, Downey was
a Firestone.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was far away from me, and that was in the nice neighborhoods. So to me, that was uppity. I'll take.
Okay, all that right there is not uppity no more.
Really?
It's there is no. Everybody's on the same boat out here now.
No shit.
Yeah, it's not like that no more, man. It's everybody's on the same boat. Now you could tell where the rich people are, but those are like in the Hollywood Hills. You know what I'm saying? That you know where they're at. Everybody out here is there. It doesn't feel like that no more. Like, oh, that's a nice class. That's they got money. Or everybody's on the same boat now, man.
That's the boat.
It is a trip. Yeah. So even Downey, you'll see a lot of paisas living in Downey now.
Really?
In those mansions.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. You know how they got little mini mansions there?
Well, see, I remember Downey Downey was like a suburb, all right?
Yeah.
And it's like think of like a nice suburb in Oklahoma City. That would be what Downey was to me. Because you go down Firestone and then you hit Bell Gardens and then you hit Downey, I think it was.
No. You go down and you hit a little bit of Bell Gardens, the end of it. Like Garfield.
That's right.
And then it's Downey. It's all Downey.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And then
Bell Gardens is more on Florence.
Yeah, more on Florence, in Atlantic.
Yeah, we're talking right now. Down is like, what the fuck are these fucking Mexicans?
I need to get a map, maybe some Google Maps. Danny, can you draw me a map?
First of all, you don't call me Danny. You call me Lopez.
Sorry, I've just been hearing him say it. It's just kind of
I don't do first names, dude.
You don't?
Now with the people I work
with the military guys, we only knew each other by last names.
Oh, see that even that's a comparison to gangs. We go by monikers, you know what I mean?
Damn, that's fucking dude. It's funny because even in the military we have nicknames for everybody.
Oh, is that right?
True. We have nicknames for people, special nicknames.
Hey, what I want to ask
the retarded ones.
Hey, what do you think about that movie Sniper? No, American Sniper.
American Sniper. That's the one about Kyle.
That was the one. It's hard for me to watch some of these movies because they're just. But
what do you think about that one?
I don't think I've seen that one.
You haven't seen that one?
The one that I did see that was really good is fucking it's called The Outpost. It's on Hulu. Is it on Hulu or Netflix? It's on Netflix.
Netflix. See it on Netflix,
dude. If you watch The Outpost, that one's fucking badass, man.
But is it on point?
That one's on fucking point.
Like, a lot of these movies are Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? There's like
this one's based off a true story, and they actually went to the guys who were there as the advisors. For the fucking movie.
Yeah,
they actually at the end of the movie they kind of tell their stories about where they kind of played into all this. They actually did it right.
It was a situation, man. That it's about a place called Cop Keating. It's a combat outpost, Keating, and they
put
fucked up
in the middle of a shit ton of fucking mountains because that's tactically advantaged.
That was
they got overrun like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, check it out. Check it out, dude. It's a really good fucking movie. It's on point, down to the shit talking that we have between each other. Like, even down to that, because out there, the only thing we have is our sense of humor. You know what I mean? And I think that's one thing that you carry very well too, is a sense of humor. Because I think that if we don't laugh at the shit that we've been through, we're fucking crazy.
Laughter's beautiful, man.
Dude,
if you watch the movie American Sniper, if you haven't, read the book. It's fucking phenomenal. It blows the movie out of the fucking water.
So you seen American Sniper?
Yeah, I've seen American Sniper, but I read the book before I watched the movie.
So is that movie on point?
It's based off the book, but it's very Hollywoodified.
Oh, okay.
Point. Like there's points in the book that the movie did do right, but obviously, they've got to make it glamorous so people
Right.
motherfucker. But the book's way better.
I think
got
also another thing is that some experiences differ. For example, American Sniper is more on the sniper end of the movie or of
What
the
about Lone Survivor?
Lone Survivor was a good fucking flick.
Lone Survivor?
Yeah. That's
I haven't seen that one.
Watch that one, but that book is even better because that guy's still alive. I like reading the books before I watch the movies. That way you can kind of see how similar they are or aren't.
Well, you got to throw your white privilege on us because you could afford.
Hey, but the book's always the best.
I'll send you the book, man. I've got the book at the house.
Your white privilege against us. Are you saying that we can't read? That's why we go to movies? Is that what you're saying, Dowden?
I mean, I'm sure you can read. I don't know about you, Lopez. I think he can. He's going to school, so.
Oh man, another good one, dude. Like I remember when we were kids too. Now that you brought that up, as kids, I've always wanted to be in the fucking military since I was a fucking youngster. Because of my brother Robert was a Marine, my brother Ed was a Marine. He went to combat in the Gulf War. My brother Romeo was a Marine in the Army. So I've always wanted to do it. Unfortunately, life decisions. I had to get a lot of cover-up tattoos in order to get in. You know what I mean? Like I got a big ass eagle on my chest, which used to be an eyeball with wing. And Elsa was written under there. You know what I mean?
In order to cover it?
Yeah, dude, I had to cover all that shit up, or the Army.
They wouldn't take you on.
Nope.
I would be permanently disqualified. Like they even told me, like, dude, you'll be permanently disqualified if I even take pictures of that. So like, all right, what do I need to do? And they were like, you fucking cover it up. And I'm like, well, how the fuck am I supposed to cover up letters and then numbers?
Get you a good tattoo artist.
I don't know if you saw my tattoos. They were not very good, but they did the job. Dude, it was funny as fuck because one of my drill sergeants called me out because I had the X and I had the 8, right? So fucking I covered up the X, kind of, but I still had the 8. And they were like, what's that for right there on your shoulder, Private? I'm like, it's an unfinished snake. Like, Private, I'm not fucking stupid. Once you get out of here, you go fix that shit up and get it covered up. We don't want to be bringing your street shit over here to the Army. Believe it or not, there's a lot of fools out here in the military, fool, that they claim to be gangsters. There's some that actually live the life. There are. And there's some that
they just didn't get in trouble, huh?
Just claim it.
And then there's others, fool, that you would want to fucking beat up on sight just because they claim to be gangsters.
Is it like the stolen valor kind of deal?
Is that right?
Bro, you will want to fuck these for wannabes. I'm talking about straight fucking wannabe. I'll give you one example. Dowden, you know who I'm talking about. Storytime Taylor.
Ooh, Storytime Taylor.
Motherfucker, dude. Check this out. Check this fool out, man. This motherfucker talked about that. He was a gangster in Kansas, all right?
Yeah.
His gang, there were the Jokers or something like that, or I can't remember.
I think you're right. I think it was the Jokers.
Yeah.
Get this. They would put neon paint on, all right? And they would go and terrorize the neighborhoods. And that's what they would do. Them and the gang.
That's good.
And
he's been watching too much Warriors.
Not even. We figured it out. My boy Cruz, my buddy Cruz that died last year, he figured it out. It was from Batman. Remember the cartoons? Batman?
Oh, yeah.
The Jokers, his little minions had makeup on and neon. That's where he got it from, fool.
Oh, fuck.
Did anybody ever call him out on it or not?
Fool, I called that motherfucker out. I'm like, you want to talk about gangs? And so some of my hood shit came out of there and
did you guys tell him that was from the Batman scene?
No, we didn't figure out that till years
later.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, dude, it was funny. Like one thing that sucks is I've been sober now for almost 3 years.
Man, that's good, man.
Dude, I was a shitty drunk and a real shitty drunk. But in the Army, sometimes my accent would come out because we eventually, as we grow up, we change the way we speak, the way we pronounce shit. So my accent will come out sometimes, and Not only that, sometimes my hood shit would come out when I was drunk. My buddy Moya, if it wasn't for Moya, he's the one that saved me a lot of times because that fool grew up in the hood, but in Vegas. He just fucked around. He never fucked around, but he grew up in the barrio, you know?
Right.
He saved me a lot of times. Like, hey, fool, come on, let's go. Like, he would calm me down because I would act so stupid.
He didn't save you from that fire you fell in, did he?
Fucking God.
Well, what happened?
Go ahead, Dowden.
So we were, it was when we were deploying, and we had a big old party over at a house, and it's kind of out in the country, and it's all of us, and we're in the military. You drink a lot on your free time.
Yeah.
Big old bonfire, everybody's hanging out, and this dumbass decides, hey, I'm gonna go fucking fall inside this fire real quick. This looks like a good idea.
What the hell?
I maintain that somebody pushed me into the fire. All right. But
you talk to anybody else, and they will say that there was fucking no one around this motherfucker. He just jumped into the fire.
Hey, what happened when you fell in there though?
I got up burned.
So you woke up or what?
No, fool. So okay, I was drinking Presidente that night, like straight out the fucking bottle, getting fucking trashed because we're getting ready to deploy to Iraq.
It's like probably our last weekend before we deployed that week. So we were getting fucking shitty drunk, and they were giving us lots of opportunity to do it.
Oh dang.
And next thing I know, like the fire had started dying down. I was swaying, and my face was burning. Next thing I know, my face, dude, my hand, everything. And then somebody picked me up out of the fire. Somebody pushed me in. Somebody pushed me.
You just said it. You were swaying, and you.
Look,
hey, did you burn yourself or no?
Oh yeah, my face got burned.
Oh yeah, he was.
No scars. No scars, though. Thank God, no scars.
Oh, and they didn't tell you nothing when you went out. The captain or
nah, man.
Nobody.
It was the weekend. I mean, bro, I could tell you so many shenanigans motherfuckers did back in the day. We had one guy that got shocked by the taser from the PD, by the police. I don't know if you remember that one when Johnson, he got tased by the cops. And dude, as long as you didn't make the blotter or you didn't get in trouble, you'd be all right.
We used to have huge fucking barracks parties, like fucking hundreds of motherfuckers. Just you go to room and get whatever kind of fucking drink you wanted, and that shit would go on from the time at 5 o'clock Friday when you were done till fucking Monday morning, right before PT.
Man,
and PT is what, when you go back to work or when you got to go exercise?
Yep.
And I can tell you, there's a lot of times where we've probably shown up to PT fucking drunk as shit.
Still drunk.
Smelling like alcohol?
Smell like alcohol, going on a 5-mile run like it ain't shit.
Really?
Freaky.
Hey, I bet it was the hardest though getting started on.
Oh, dude, I tell you, I'm thinking about just throwing up just doing that. In Korea, I remember like I didn't even sleep maybe 2 hours, still drunk from the night before, going out running, reeking of alcohol. Every Monday, it smelled like a brewery when somebody would run by because everybody just smelled like alcohol, man. It was just part of the culture. It's just part of the culture, you know? And now that
Presidente used to fuck me up, man. Presidente, that was my drink right there. Or the Cisco's.
Oh, fucking Cisco.
Cisco's, man.
Dude, you remember my birthday, my 21st birthday? We got fucking drunk on Cisco's watching Ren and Stimpy.
It sounds familiar.
It was me, you, and Doug. And all we did was
familiar.
It was my 21st birthday. We bought a bunch of Cisco's and we just sat down and watched Ren and Stimpy. You buffoon, and getting fucked up on Cisco. You grabbed that big ass piece of the turkey leg and started munching on that.
Oh yeah. Man, I forgot about that. Yeah. Hey, Cisco's nasty. Now I smell it. Hey, that's good. You haven't drank though. I don't really drink.
Well, you never were much of a drinker.
Yeah, I don't really drink. No
you know what's fun? Motherfuckers would drink to get beer balls. And that's what's funny about this guy. He didn't need to have beer balls. He just...
Yeah, I didn't really... But when I got drunk, bro. Yeah, that's one thing, man. Yeah.
But there was no in between.
That was Lopez. That was Lopez, too. When he got drunk, it was... There was no, like, here and here.
Yeah.
Straight from here.
Yeah, exactly. Right away.
Fucked up.
Quick.
Oh, man. Doggle, it's been a pleasure having you here today, man.
You too, my boy.
Really
Thank you for having me, man. Hey,
You've
thank
got
you, daughter.
a great fucking story, man.
Oh, thank you, my brother.
Needed to be told for sure.
Oh, man. It's awesome shirt in it right here, man. Good looking now.
I can't wait to have you on again. We got to have you on again. Just, just on general principle, because goddamn, it's just catching up with you, and motherfuckers don't get to hear. Like, there's a lot of backstories that a lot of people didn't hear. A lot of shit. God,
we just scratched the surface.
Not even scratched it. We barely probably rubbed it.
There's a lot of stories, man.
You got to think about it. We're 43 years old now.
Damn. I don't feel 43 though, man.
Me either.
Man, y'all made me feel like a baby over here at 37. Shit.
Fucking little.
Man, I wish I was 37, man.
Right? 37, shit. I wish.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You know what? I think I don't think I've ever noticed my age till now. Like now, I even think like we're 43, right?
Yeah.
And I think like I don't remember ever saying like I'm 37 now. I'm 36 now. It was just going, you know what I mean? And now I look back, I'm like, damn, the time just went by quick.
Shit.
And look, we're in the middle. We're in May already.
I think you usually say that shit when you're in your 20s. Once you get past 30, it's like,
yeah.
I'll be honest with y'all. I had to ask Linda how old I was because I didn't know if I was turning 43 this year.
Yeah,
44 this year.
That's what I did. Same way.
I swear to God, I'm like, hey, am I turning 43 or 44 this year? Because honestly, I stopped celebrating birthdays. I haven't celebrated them. It's like another year closer to death. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And goddamn. Anyway, it's been a pleasure having you here, man. We've been almost going for 2 fucking hours. Gentlemen, ladies, whoever's listening to this podcast or watching us on the YouTube, I hope y'all enjoyed this shit. Drop us a comment, slap a like, subscribe,
do something.
And if y'all want to hear some more of Doggle stories, hit us up. I'll be more than happy to bring him back on here. I'm sure he'd be
anytime.
I'm sure he'd be more than happy to give you guys an insight on that life, and give you knowledge or give you fucking a different outlook. You know what I mean? And mentor you in ways that he's walked the walk. You know what I'm saying? There's motherfuckers that talk. There's motherfuckers that walk. And Doggle was one that if he talked, you damn sure straight he's gonna walk it. He ain't gonna just be bullshitting. So, anyways, y'all, I appreciate y'all being here. I don't even know how to wrap this up. I'm so tired. So, with that,
it's later with it on.
It's almost midnight. So, with that said, rounds complete. In the mission, gun line out. Bye, motherfuckers.